Leaving Buff on the beat.
All right, what is up, fam? We are back. Another episode of Combat Deviants here on the Belly Up Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve. Being joined to me on to my left, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Evil Eddie. What's up, brother? How we feeling tonight?
Dude, I am so excited for tonight's show. I mean, the last couple of weeks have been absolutely crazy. We have so much to run down on this week's episode. I hope everything is up and running perfectly fine, because I've done a little extra work this week, Steve, and I can't wait to show everybody visually. But for those of you guys that are listening to the audio podcast, especially overseas, which we got a big surprise, which we'll mention in a second, make sure to subscribe down below here on Belly Up Sports, and also go over to Combat Deviant YouTube channel and subscribe there, where you can catch all the highlights from the latest episodes as well. Steve, man, I'm so happy to be here. We are almost at 1,000 followers on Twitter, and it's almost a month now.
872? We're getting real close. I know Eddie's got a few things. Like I said, I got some signed posters. I got some stuff I want to give away to our combat sports fans. So some little old school stuff. World Series of Fighting, Cage Fury Fighting Championship event posters for some of our current UFC athletes that were on those cards. I want to give some love back to them. We're also going to do some things with both, as you were mentioned, both Belly Up and Combat Deviants YouTube channels. We're also going to be running some giveaways for that as well when they hit to their milestones. I believe Belly Up just hit 400 subscribers as of earlier. So they're moving. I think we're pushing our first 20 or so. So guys, make sure you're also coming over to our YouTube channel, showing us some love, because when we hit some of those milestones, we're going to do some stuff with that as well. Obviously, Eddie's always adding the interviews, the highlights, the breakdowns, the full show, everything, so everyone can kind of get a little bit mix of things. Obviously, as we go along here, we're gonna do a few more things. Obviously, this week we got a few things to go over. Obviously, the poll question tonight is going to be a fun one for you guys. Obviously, we're going to talk about Eddie Alvarez and ONE FC amicably splitting, and he's going to be hitting that free agency market. That's going to be fun. Obviously, we're going to be talking to Zack Calmus, BKFC Heavybeight. He's going to be getting in there October 1st for BKFC 30. We'll talk a little, little bit about the fight, everything around that. Obviously, we'll go over fight night, talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, because there was some ugly spots going on for the Sandhagen.
Man, I can't wait to get into all of that, man, because it's been a really crazy week, Steve. There's been a lot of discussions. Usually when we go into MMA news every week, right, it's usually focused on one thing, which we're used to year after year. Like, sometimes it might be brought up, like, who's the best Brazilian GOAT, which has just been recently brought up, or the Reebok thing, which was a huge thing a couple years ago. Now it's The Rock's shoes, which Nate is going off on everybody. And a little while ago, he actually tweeted something out, which we'll get into. But like Steve's discussing, these cuts from this week have been absolutely disturbing. And me and Steve are going to talk about some of our memories from the past of cuts like Robbie Lawler ripping his mouth open, screaming in the McDonald fight. Remember that? We're gonna get into all of that, guys. So if you want to comment,
I still think that the craziest one was Chris Lytle. Chris Lytle was one of the worst. I know everyone. You just flashed up Alistair. Everyone forgets about the Chris Lytle fight, man. He was pouring blood. Jessica I with the third eye looking like Dr. Strange.
Steve, I actually got a tweet because we've been posting these photos, right? And the people out there are starting to get into mixed martial arts, and I've had a couple of females being like, "How does that happen?" And I've been to so many Muay Thai events where I'm kind of used to that. But the doctor this weekend, Steve, can we start there? Can we start this from this? The doctor this weekend. I mean, when that fight was going on, bro, this reminded me of turning all the lights on in the hallway as a kid. I was so scared because we saw what happened, but the doctor didn't see it on time. The cut man went in before the doctor saw it, I believe. Upon replay, I believe I saw it twice. The doctor did not see the actual cut until he said it was fine for him to go another 5 minutes. Then he came back and his jaw absolutely dropped when he saw Song's cut, and he saw obviously this one right here.
Yeah, that was the gnarly one. All right.
This is the most disgusting, or like for two of these cuts to happen on the same card back to back nonetheless is insane. But the big talk is everyone was mad that Paul Felder and DC were like, oh, this is going to be the end of it, right? But the thing is, they're taking credit away from Corey Sandhagen, who made this cut on Song, right? They're not taking that into consideration, saying that he actually was the one that made that damage in this. Now, I'm gonna let you go here. What did you think of that performance? Obviously, Corey got the win.
Like, you're obviously disappointed. You want to see how it continues, but like, hey, man, that's the nature of it. You get a bad cut, the doctor gets in there. You get a cut like that, you don't let them get a chance to stop the fight. You have to go, I guess crazy man berserker, at that point in time, so the referee doesn't have time to stop. There is no break.
Jarina Bars, I always bring her name up to you guys. She did an amazing job in one of her fights years ago where she had an awful cut down her face and she had to go 2 more rounds for the fight, man. And it could have been stopped at any second. And I've never seen anybody fight like this. Not only did she protect it, but she went on to adjust the game and win the fight. And this is a girl that's beat people like Chris Cyborg, which we'll get into a little bit later, because I don't think anybody has been really talking about that or knows that she has an upcoming boxing fight as well. But yeah, in situations like that, you see what skill a fighter is at. I mean, for a cut to be opened up like that, you got to really just blank out on that. You're already half blind, right? So, man, seeing that really was disturbing for a lot of people. So the big talk is, are doctors really supposed to look at it before the cut man touches it up, or is that not even a rule? I'm not sure if that's a rule or not, but I don't
know that that's a rule, but like if they get in there before the cut man's actually it doesn't matter. Like that's the way it is. Like the only time you really see stuff like that, like it's not about the blood, like as it's what it is in boxing. Like the blood and the swelling is one of the main things that you see stops fights. But like when you get cuts of that nature, man, like it's you when the doctor gets in there, he waves it off. So that's you're the one that accepted that damage. You're the one that put yourself in that position. Like you said, you can't take it away from the other athlete in that sense.
I mean, over the years, there's been so many disgusting cuts, like Lawler, Reem, Greg Rodriguez this weekend, having the unibrow. I've never seen that one before, honestly. One of the worst ones, it wasn't necessarily a cut, but it was a dent in the forehead for Cyborg versus MVP. Do you remember that one? That one was brutal. But here's the conversation that everyone's talking about for this weekend. Is Corey Sandhagen as exciting as the former bantamweights that were in that division, like TJ Dillashaw, Cruz, Renan Barao, Faber? Does he bring that excitement to you, or what are your thoughts here?
Every guy, like I said, we talk about this all the time. Like every guy's different. Everyone has their own personality. It's either you have that draw or you don't. Like and at sometimes sometimes you do need a little push from the promotion and things of that nature, and that's why a lot of these guys go in and go to the UFC because you want to have that big media company that you know behind you. At the same time, and that's a reason why a lot of these fighters sign these contracts, and then Anderson Silva was talking about it on a Hawani show this week. Like, you sign the contract, like what you're getting yourself into, and you have to take that with a bit of caution too, because at the same time, like we all know they could be doing more, but on the back side of that, Anderson's worked with them a long time, and he doesn't really have too many bad things to say about the company or Dana. And what does that tell you? Consider he probably feels like at this point, I mean, some people kind of feels like he left a lot of money on the table. I don't think he was getting paid well over $100K for the better part of 10 years.
Yeah.
So, and that's before a lot of, I mean, you got to think of, when you look at MMA purses and you look at boxing purses, they're still not quite the same, because you still don't have a lot of that big corporate meat companies that been involved in MMA quite as long as it has boxing. Boxing will always have the glitz and glamour and all that. Like I said, people always sitting there saying like boxing is dying and this is and this is that and the third, and it's not. But let's kind of get back to it. Like, is Corey one of these guys in the bantamweight? I don't see why not. Obviously,
will he bring in pay-per-view
for
numbers?
For the longest time, the UFC was telling us that it was Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt was going to be one of these next guys too.
Well,
I love Cody, but he's just he got a string of bad luck and caught some tough guys. Is guys like Shane O'Malley. He's going to be the guys that's future some of these lighter weight divisions.
That's what it's lacking.
And that goes back to the other side of it, is what happened this week when Jose Aldo is no longer an MMA fighter. But the other beautiful thing was he had another baby. He had a birth this week as well. So congratulations on retirement. Congratulations on the new birth into this world. I'm sure he's a very happy man, and that goes into a lot of people were going around sitting there saying that Jose Aldo is the Brazilian GOAT. Oh man,
but is he? That's another thing that goes with this conversation, though, right? Is Aldo the Brazilian GOAT? If we look back at all the Brazilians out there, we got Machida, Nunes, Oliveira, Cyborg, Jacare, Belfort, Anderson Silva, Shogun, Nog, Bigfoot Silva. Yeah, exactly. The Axe Murderer,
the Nogueira brothers,
Henzo, Maya, Junior Dos Santos, Verdum, Royce Gracie. What you said a couple weeks ago was perfect, right? You can't really break it down by who's the greatest of all time. You got to really dissect it, micromanage it, and say time eras.
Break it as we have the world map behind us. You could definitely break it down by nation, like who is the the greatest like American mixed martial artists of the last 25 30 years that MMA has been around. You could probably make that argument for like per country. Obviously, if we talk about Russia, where it has to be Fedor, right?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like when you go to certain, like Ireland at this point in time, if anyone says anything but Conor McGregor, they might strike you down where you stand.
I've heard differently, but yeah, I know exactly.
But if we're talking about like effect on the game, popularity, title runs, everything like that, notable fights, things of that nature, like you have to, you have to really break it down. And when I look at it, like, what
are your most memorable?
Putting it down there, like top five fighters. Your Brazilian Mount Rushmore. I mean, in my opinion, it has to be first and foremost. It's Anderson Silva in my mind. I think he hands down is the one that has one of the best runs in the biggest stage that helped. I mean, if Anderson Silva never ascended, I don't think the UFC is as big as they are right now.
here's the thing. I like where you're getting at.
But
I see
but the
exactly where your mind's going.
finish the question that we have posed for ourselves below. My next one is Minotaur Nogueira. He's definitely one of the guys.
Why though? You bring up Fedor, right?
And right there at the end is Jose Aldo. He started off his career he won like 16 in a row. Start off his career, something like that.
Yeah.
He had amazing run in WEC before being folded over into the UFC when they started bringing in the lighter weight classes, what they probably should have done in long time ago. But that was just the growth of the company during that time. So like they were bringing in pieces and things that they needed to make those things happen.
I think that's why people look at Jose Aldo as somebody that maybe not be greatest of all time. I mean, in my book, definitely one of my favorite fighters to watch. Go look at the Cub Swanson fight. You know what I mean? Go look at the Mendez fights. Go back and look at the Faber fight. Look at Faber's leg. I mean, there was excitement there, right? A young Jose Aldo. And what's the story behind Jose Aldo? It was a young kid from Brazil who couldn't even afford to train. So he would stay at the gym and clean up just to be able to sit in there and be able to train. And then he started being able to feed his family. He started focusing on that. But what happened, Steve? I mean, this is still a 33, 34-year-old man we're talking about that's retiring, still young. I mean, I'm 33. But what happened, bro? It's like Conor McGregor came through and just those 13 seconds, something changed. When Anderson Silva got knocked out by Chris Weidman, something changed. But there's also an argument there. When do you stop? Because Aldo looked great after the fight as well. Look at this fight against Frankie Edgar. He did amazing. You can look at, even if we're talking about Anderson Silva, people forget about the DC fight at UFC 200. He stepped in on a week's notice and almost collapsed DC in that last round. I mean, that was these are important things. These are staples because these guys were there for years and years and years, longer than they should have been, right? But they kept going. It shows how much heart these Brazilians have. And then you look at somebody like Amanda Nunes from Brazil and somebody like Ronda Rousey. What's the difference between those two? Ronda Rousey ended up quitting. What is it to be a GOAT, right? We want to see you come back and win those losses, which Amanda Nunes did.
I mean, when it comes down to it, it's just that Ronda had not just like, I mean, I can't even really say she was one trick because she had other tools in it just besides the armbar. Like it's just what she would always go after. So, she like again like when you're breaking that down, when you're talking about the women and the difference between Amanda and Ronda. I mean, clearly it's the feet, it's the cardio, it's the size, it's the strength. I mean, granted, Ronda when she was doing Olympic judo, she was a lot heavier at that point in time. But like her when she was competing at 35, man, it was just that. I think she gave up a lot to Amanda. I think it was just one of those things that there was no way with the striking, no way.
Yeah.
Listen, Ronda did whatever she could to kind of bring it in, and having the guy she had in her corner working on her strike probably didn't do her any favors. If she probably when she first started going in and just spent like a whole year with like 2 or 3 legit boxers and not with that goofball, she might have been able to kind of hang around, but her heart really wasn't in the MMA side of things. She likes I think what she's doing over there in the WWE and how they do things and how she's able to kind of market herself and do things of that nature and play with things and she still has Shayna Baszler and people like that around where she still has her little clique around, and that's what she she's enjoying life and try her and Travis trying to have kids and everything like that on the farm. That's her life, man.
Making I don't know if you ever seen the movie.
I don't blame her for that. And at the end of the day, like she helped grow
female sports.
MMA in a time when they really needed a star to kind of attach to. She's on that list, but yeah, I mean, there's a big difference between Amanda and Ronda when you look at their things. But
I was making a point.
They're equally have their impact on the sport. It's just Amanda's run is longer because Ronda wanted to go and pursue other things. But if you go and look at it, like and when you look at her story and things like that, it's no surprise. Like I'm pretty sure she's still pretty difficult to work with over there in the WWE, but that's just what they're used to. They're wrestlers.
I mean, I feel like the mixed martial arts community loves to praise Brazilians, right? Because without Renzo and Royce and the whole Gracie family, we really wouldn't be able to have this. So I think that's why a lot of people get behind somebody like Jose Aldo and root for a Brazilian, because they like that almost nostalgic feeling, right? So
and it's like, listen, there's no jiu-jitsu without Brazil. There's no, and we also got to forget about the other part in Kimura over there, because without Gracie and Kimura, there really is no MMA combat sports to what we know today. So you always got to give your love to the Asian side of the world, because they played a big part in this, as much as they don't really have a whole lot of world champions in the States that we have right now. Obviously, we'd like to see some more, but the Brazilians probably do get more love, but that's also because they probably also turned out more stars and champions over the last 20 years than you would say probably the United States. Because even when you look, you would have to say North America to start adding some, because George St. Pierre had a great run. Randy's run wasn't that great. Chuck's run, beating up Tito was great, but it was an important time. Like, you needed Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell was was the superstar that Dana needed. That kind of with Tito, that rivalry is what really cemented on what really grew the UFC to where they were able to kind of get to the Ultimate Fighter and get to the right viewership, and started getting the traction they needed to be where they are today. So
exactly,
like I said, is he the GOAT? Like I said, he's probably 5 on my list.
So guys, we really want to know what you think. Like, we're doing the polls every week. This week was the Aldo question. So make sure to follow us at Combat Deviants. And let me just play this slide really quick for everybody. So yeah, we want to know what you guys think about this. We're almost at 1,000 followers. We're doing the giveaway, but can we get into something before our guest calls in, Steve? I mean, this is what
we still got a minute. I hope you got something for me. What you got, brother?
I got this. Ready? Now we want to know what your thoughts are here, because I mean, he really is right now, right? I mean, Steve, today you messaged me, and as soon as you messaged me, my phone was blowing up with this tweet right here. For you guys listening on audio, Nate Diaz tweets out, "Respect your OG, you fat MFer." And he posts the photo of DC after he gets knocked out by John Jones in the rematch of him crying. Not only that, Steve, he's going off on everyone. He's going off on The Rock. And I quote, he says, "The Rock can get it too." The Rock can get it too. I mean, how serious is Nate about all of this? This is absolutely crazy.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's half serious about it, but it's probably because of the shoe deal and everything like that. And like Nate's not the only one complaining. There's other fighters that have been vocal, on social media about things. I'm not quite to the level of what Nate's doing it right now, but yeah, Nate wasn't happy with DC. Apparently, I think he went back and listened to the fight and listened to the commentary, and I don't think he was too happy with him. But Nate self admitted that he wasn't training properly. You know, I know he was probably gassed. His arms are probably gassed because he did a whole lot of wrestling and things of that nature, as he was saying. But Nate is one of these guys that we already know he's got a gas tank. So if he's tired, and he probably was doing a lot of training, he probably just wasn't doing training that he enjoyed, and he doesn't.
I want to know what our guest has to say about this, and we got our first guest right here joining us. We got no other than Zack joining us from BKFC. What's going on, Zack?
Hey,
what's up, brother? How you feeling tonight?
How we doing, man? What's going on?
We're just having some fun talking some combat sports. Obviously, I know you're getting excited, you're getting closer to it, man. You're going to be able to throw them hands again.
Getting ready to throw them hands, toe the line.
So this is absolutely a crazy card for BKFC. This is absolutely stacked. Are you surprised how far it's come, BKFC? Because we're not. Everyone that people like my friends call me, they don't even care about
I ain't surprised
MMA anymore.
BKFC is. I just love that y'all getting this spotlight, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, so I think that from the common viewer's perspective, they're not seeing the power that the BKFC has. And I'm not talking about just financial. I'm talking about brain power, the matchmaker, the medical staff. Everybody involved with the BKFC, from my experience, has been brilliant at what they do. Everybody is good at what they do. And they're held to a high standard. Just as us athletes are held to a high standard. You don't see BKFC athletes fucking around in the hallways and messing up hotels. You don't see it because we're so focused on the fight that, this truly matters to us. The outcome of the fight is the outcome of our life. So in reality, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is doing it 100% the right way, because they're instilling that level of seriousness in all of us. We're there to put on a war. We're there to do our job, and we're there to do what's expected of us. So I think that's the bottom line,
So outside of your fight, man, October 1st, who are you excited to see?
I'm real excited to see Bobo and Rothwell. I think
you just had Bobo on last week, man. I love that dude, and I know y'all two thrown down, so y'all shared some blood, sweat, and tears inside of toe that line. So I know you're interested about that. Ben is a UFC veteran, and obviously, I think a lot of people are really excited to see that matchup.
Let me put it this way: I don't want any piece of Ben Rothwell. And I don't want, and I also, that being said, I don't want Bobo again either.
So it's kind of crazy, man, because you have said in the past, I've watched a lot of your interviews, especially with our friend Susan. You say, I already won. What do you mean by that? Like, you go into these fights with confidence. We just saw a 17-year-old get a UFC contract this weekend, right? On Tuesday, and he had amazing confidence. Where were you at 17? Were you as confident as that as you are now? Because now you have that confidence. But at 17, we all kind of struggled with that. Where were you at 17 years old?
At 17 years old, I was an awkward high schooler.
Yeah, we were too.
I was trying to make it to graduation. 17 years old, I was pretty much a younger version of what I am now. I was untested, untried. I didn't know fully who I was 100%. I don't think any 17-year-old knows 100% who they are. Even that kid, that being said, on that stage, I'm going to go buy a Charger, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Now who knows if he's going to go and do any of those things. But, obviously very excited in 17 I've seen very excited 17 turn to 22 and miserable.
Yeah, exactly. I think when you were 17, you were probably juggling, playing, doing bowling, right?
I wasn't polling really. I mean, I just like to do that. Um, when I was 17, I was playing football, hockey, and lacrosse.
Hell, dude. Oh my, hell yeah. That's what it's about, right? Going through high school, I was on the football team. You make so many amazing bonds. So when you're going through school and you had that bond, what made you want to go into fighting? I mean, how
Well,
old were you when you decided that?
long story short, team sports are a lot different than individual
Yeah.
sports.
Oh yeah.
And, that being said, like I hated fighting for position. So if I knew I was better than a guy and he was, more politically hooked up than me at the time, I hated him playing over me. You know what I mean? I hated upperclassmen who were worse than me playing over me. So,
Nope. Did he pause? Did he pause? Did he freeze?
all over other people. Team sports really got ruined for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wanted to just be in individual sports. And that being said, I was getting in a lot of fights. I was playing football and getting in fights. I was playing lacrosse and getting
You're
in
like
fights.
the water boy, right?
Yeah,
Going in there, headbutting people, oblongula,
I
oblongata.
got
Just
kicked off. Yeah, I got kicked off the varsity football team.
how? Whoa! You can't just throw that out there for us, Zach. How'd you
What you
get
do,
kicked off?
man?
What did you
What
do,
you
bro?
what you do, Zach?
Oh, I don't know. I told the coach to F himself and amongst a number of other things. I got jammed up at camp, at summer camp playing football that year. I actually hurt my leg pretty bad. And he wanted me to go to like every practice and watch every play. And I was like, I'm not going to even go to college. So why am I, down here in a cast fucking watching football? I didn't want to do that. So I quit.
You see
And
that right there? That's because
I
the
ended up,
coach,
I ended up just boxing all the time.
coach sent me right back into the game. They don't care, right? They don't care. They sent me right back into the game as fullback with a broken toe, and I went through it. Now my toe is facing southeast all the time, and was that really what ruined it for you? I mean, because mixed martial arts, you could say it's solo, but you really have to listen to your corner. There's a lot of trust.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I didn't want to play team sports. You don't
want to rely. Yeah.
I just didn't want to play team sports. You know what I mean? And I was in a cocky ass high school at the time. I had already been kicked out of 3 high schools. So, I had gone through boarding school. I had to leave public school because I was a badass. And then I had to go to boarding school, go to another boarding school, go to another boarding school. And then all 3 of those schools, it didn't really work out. So I ended up, reluctantly, they took me back in public school. They didn't even want me. So, I graduated 09, but I never liked listening to coaches. And to be honest, I still don't. I've been kicked out of like 6 boxing gyms. Okay. And I'll tell you something. 5 of those gyms aren't even in business anymore.
Really? What?
They aren't even in business anymore. And the coaches are fucking junkies now. So I know that when you go into a fight, you're the only person in the ring.
Yeah.
So you can go train with whoever you want, with whatever coach you want, and they can have a great plan. That doesn't mean you're going to win the fight. You know what I mean?
So it seems like it's been a really hard road for you. I'm in Connecticut. I'm not too far from you.
Yep.
I graduated in 08. So we're about the same age. You were just talking about junkies and stuff. The opiate epidemic over here has been absolutely awful. I can only imagine the stories that you have.
Well, I went to school in Litchfield, Connecticut for a while.
Oh, okay.
And my grandmother lives in Hartford, and my aunt. I actually train in Danbury a lot. But, even out there, I got into it in sparring. The guy was being a jerk. So I hooked him and I threw him on his ass. And the whole gym exploded in a riot. You know what I mean?
So how does this keep happening? Like, do you feel
it doesn't happen everywhere? It's just some gyms you go to around, Boston, around New England, they got attitudes, and they expect that because you're in their house, that you're just gonna sit there and take it. And I'm not gonna sit there and get bent over by anybody.
I've heard that from a lot of people around here,
I,
especially. I'm here in New
at the end of the
Haven.
day, at the end of the day, you got a lot of guys involved with the fighting industry who don't like getting punched in the face. You know,
Especially over here on the East Coast, we keep trying and trying and trying with all these gyms, and there's so many stories. There's so much drama over here. I don't want to say names, but Nick Newell and a gym over here growing up, like the drama can really tear people apart. So when you say, you were driven away from team sports to do the solo thing, we've seen that in big players like Alistair Overeem. He's always jumping around because it's very difficult for him as well. So what have you found to make you feel more comfortable? Like what makes this gym and the coach that you're with right now a good fit for you? That's different from any other gym.
Here's the major difference. I stopped caring about what people think. I stopped caring what people say. I start doing what I want and training where I want and going and seeking out the sparring partners that I need to make me better. So like my main sparring partner for this fight and for my last couple fights has been Steve Vukosa, who's a WBC green belt champion. And he's a 6'7" lefty. He's a monster. So I'm working with talented fighters, but that's at Grealish Boxing Gym in Dorchester. Now, if I was going out to Champs of Danbury, I was working with Fly Mike Marshall, New England champion, fought Steve to a 10-rounder back a couple months ago. So, and before that, I was working with Justin Rolfe. So all three of the last guys held New England titles. So I'm always sparring with the top tier guys. And anybody I'm in there with is a tough fighter with 8 or 9, 10 pro fights or more. So I think the key for me has been working with who I want to and doing what I want to. And I'm kind of a renegade. I'm the only guy doing it that way in Massachusetts. When I walk into a gym, I don't walk in with a coach. I don't walk in with a whole entourage. I walk in by myself or with a driver, with a friend who drove me out there in my car. Or I walk in with my fiance. That's it. I don't walk in there with a coach and a guy to wrap my hands and a guy to hold my bag and a guy to drive my car and a guy to fucking shine my shit. I don't need that. I walk in there, I talk my shit, do my thing, usually have a great time. And I know champions up and down from here all the way to New York City. So why the fuck do I need a coach or a manager or really anybody, to be honest with you? The people that I have in my life, Only Hands, my management company that I'm with, Vince Anderson, Britton O'Bannon, they're all there because I want them there, not because I need them.
So would you say right now you feel like you're in your prime because you found your spot?
I found myself.
Yeah. What did it take? Do you meditate? Because not only is it the people you surround yourself with, but wherever you go, there you are, right? Wherever you go, there you are. So what has changed about you?
When I said I don't need a coach, I don't need a manager, that's why I have 2 managers, Vince and Britton, and I do have a coach. But the funniest thing is my coach is not even a fighting coach. He's a fire chief.
Oh, wow.
He's a fire chief from Chelsea who has one boxing match that I coached him in. So he's actually a CrossFit instructor. So he's a fitness instructor.
So that actually says a lot, because having the courage, my stepfather was a firefighter, God rest his soul. For him to be able to go and hold a burning child in his hands, come back home and make me dinner and put a smile on his face. In a way, it's very similar to fighting. So what do you see in him that made you gravitate towards that makes you feel this is the right fit?
Well, I spent a lot of time in boxing gyms. I spent a lot of time. I told you I went through like 8 or 9 different combat gyms. I started at John DeLay's when I was like 17, 18, Peabody. After that, I went to Combat Zone. That didn't work out. Went to Redline for a time in Cambridge. That didn't work out. Went to Quiet Man Fighting Gym, John Ruiz's gym there, Medford Parkway. That didn't work out. Went to another Japanese gym, Combat Gym out there in Medford. That didn't work out. Found Private Jewels in Lynn. That didn't work out. 6 years later, it didn't work out. So you already know this history. But my point being is that you have to work out for it to work out. At the end of the day, I don't care where you train. You can train at the YMCA or you can train at Mayweather's boxing gym. You might get your ass whipped by that YMCA guy just because he's training harder.
Just like we saw this weekend with a 17-year-old, right?
100%. I could go to the best boxing gym in Boston right now, no problem. And I could work with a guy who I could fucking two-piece knock him out in 3 punches. Or I could go to the park in Quincy and spar 30 minutes straight with Steve Fucosa with no headgears. And I can walk out of there like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Oh, shit. Like, that's a beast right there. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get out of the way. You're eating canvas. You're not canvas. You're eating fucking cement.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, the stakes are real when you're sparring on cement. You know what I mean?
Oh, I bet. Yeah, we saw that on The Ultimate Fighter one year.
And, you know, I think that my biggest asset is having sparring partners and having high quality sparring partners to low quality sparring partners. I got like maybe 50 different guys I can poke around with. The guys that are green trust me to play it easy and work on what I need to. And the heavy hitters know that I can take a shot. I can take a shot like a champ. I got a chin like a hull of a ship. So if you're going to sit me down, you better hit hard. I'm probably going to get back up. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I gotta ask you now, like, yeah, you know, you're starting to see some more of these bigger stars gravitate towards BKFC. You're just seeing Nate Diaz getting ready to fulfill his contract. I think he's got a few months before he can negotiate with anyone. I know he's starting his own promotion, but you think a guy like Nate's gonna wind up in bare knuckle or some other type of boxing?
How could he not? How could he not? I mean, how could he not end up in bare knuckle?
He's made for the sport. I swear to God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know he's a jiu-jitsu guy, you know, on the other side of things, but like that if you ask me, that dude's a bare knuckle dude through and through.
Now, when it comes to BKFC, obviously being cut is a big part of it. What's the worst cut you've ever seen in your career?
Weight cut?
No, like facial cut. Like
oh. Well, I mean, we talking about, I mean, I've seen some people get hit with rocks and shit.
Yeah, your football coach, right?
I think Eddie was referring to the combat sports side of it, not just the crazy nonsense like as he's throwing.
I saw a cut this morning. On social media. This guy's head was opened up on top. It was on top of his head, and it looked like he got hit with an axe. It was worse than all this.
Jesus.
It was being dubbed like the worst combat wound ever. His whole head was opened up like a piece of, you could open it like a meatloaf. It was crazy.
Now I gotta ask you something. Is that probably the most frustrating way to lose a fight, by having a doctor come in and sit there and wave you off for a cut or something like that?
Not. Absolutely not. I would rather have the doctor come in and say, "Hey, buddy, I gotta stop this fight. You're fucked up. Let me save you."
Let me save you from your stupidity, because you're going to sit there and say I'm good. Because every fighter never sit there. I'd say 9 times out of 10 of you always see a fighter. No, I'm good. No, don't stop it. No.
It's all right. It's not worth it. Like, these guys are like, yeah, I'll go out on my shield. All right, bro. That's it's overrated. I promise you.
Well, you're talking about not being one for team sport. Say, for instance, you got a really bad cut, right? And your coach says, I got to throw in the towel. How do you respond in a situation like that?
Go ahead. If you trust your coach, you should trust his decision. And if you don't trust your coach, you shouldn't be in your corner.
All right. Because
that's how I feel. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you got to have complete trust in your people and in yourself. I'll never go against my coaches in my corner. If they're there, I trust the decision. If they're telling me, Zach, this is it, that's it. Show me something, and that's it. I trust them. And I'm fine with whatever decision's made. You know, the fighter always knows when they're losing, whether or not they can admit it or not.
But what if you're fighting for something more than like say you're fighting for a belt, you just lost a child or you just lost your wife in an accident or something, and this fight means everything to you.
It doesn't mean you should lose your life.
That's a great answer right there.
And that's the doctor's decision and his job to make sure it doesn't happen. So you should trust the doctor because that's his job, not yours. It's out of your hands. And by being more open, being more comfortable with the doctor, it allows the doctor to be in a headspace where they can make a more accurate decision on the wounded fighter. So just a heads up to all fighters, let the doctor do his job and just shut up.
Now, what are you doing differently for this training camp that we can expect? Like, are you working on something special for this fight? I mean, what's motivating you most for this upcoming fight?
I've done a lot of the same things, to be honest with you. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I went and did this and did all this. And listen, when you've been fighting since I had my first fight at 17 and I lost, but when you've been fighting this long and you have a training camp, I had 23 amateur boxing matches. It says I only had like 18, but that's bullshit. I got a book with 23. And like 10 smokers and a couple kickboxing matches. So I've gone through 30 training camps, even though I've only had 3 pro fights, 2 BKFC fights and 1 pro boxing match. But I've trained for 30 training camps since I was 17. So, yeah, I know exactly what I have to do, and I know exactly how to do it. And I think that's what's changed is confidence in my ability. I can just wake up, get up, run 3 or 4 miles, come back, have my breakfast, have my protein, take a nap, wake up about 2 in the afternoon, go to the gym, get my 5 rounds of heavy bag work. Then I can go and I can shadow box in front of the mirror for 5 rounds. I can go down to the pool, cut 20 laps. I can get on the track later that night and run 2 miles. And that's about what my training camps look like, truly. Mixed in with sparring days. Like tomorrow, I'm going to Dorchester to spar, and that's what I'm saying though. It's mainly like you only really need to train 2.5 hours.
So a lot of these fighters, they're not doing much sparring as much anymore. That's like the big thing right now. But it doesn't sound like that's the situation for you. Am I right?
No, man, I'm old school. My skin when I fought Bobo, even I didn't receive any stitches. When I fought McElroy, I didn't receive any stitches. He did cut me. It was after the bell. I didn't receive any stitches. I never get stitches in my face. My skin's so tough. I've been sparring for. I've sparred more. I've sparred thousands of rounds in the boxing ring. I'm the heavyweight guy that most of the guys call for a training camp, and they want me to work with them. Even when I was an amateur, the heavyweight pros were calling me all around here. Alexis Santos, big name, 23-1 from Dominican Republic, world champion. Alexis Santos was calling me for sparring when I was an amateur. So I was working with top dogs because, like I said, I got a chin like a hull of a ship. I can fight, and I can also, you have to be able to take one to give one. You know what I mean? You can't just go out there and give. You're going to get clipped eventually.
So obviously we just had Bobo on, and he's such a funny guy. Did you guys bond afterwards after the fight? Because I see a lot of similarities with you and Bobo.
We talk a lot. He called me right before the McElroy fight. And I was just taking some time in the garage to be alone from everybody in the hotel. I was in the garage, just sitting in the car, and I was relaxing. And Bobo called me. We chatted for about 30 minutes. And he told me exactly how to beat McElroy.
Yeah, you're gonna tell us? Maybe we're gonna go beat him up right now.
Exactly what I did. I mean, No disrespect to my opponent in the fight. They were like, "You got to get him out of there, Zach."
So I realized in that fight, you weren't trying to go in there and knock him out immediately like you're doing with Bobo. You were more patient and relaxed.
You know, they were telling me to rush in there, you know, and he had been trolling me for a whole year. I had a lot riding on this fight. Like, I really felt like I needed to beat him even to go home because he was making fun of people in my city here.
Oh, you're talking about Bobo?
No. I'm talking about McElroy.
Okay, yeah.
He was saying shit about me that was just ridiculous and talking crap about my town and my city here, Gloucester. I really couldn't even come home and show my face here if I lost that fight. You know what I mean? Like, he was saying I'm not a Gloucester man. I'm not shit because I don't bring fish to my family. Like, bro, it's not 1901. There's contractors and, you know, business owners. There's all kinds of people who live here now. You know, it's not everybody fishes here.
You don't bring fish home?
I don't bring fish home to my family, so I'm not a real Gloucesterman.
So my family actually, my grandfather used to actually do that, and they used to have people that would go down the road selling fish on Sundays, and you don't see that anymore around here at all. If you go outside, like, it's bad news, especially over here in New Haven. You know,
New Haven for sure, Connecticut.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm right
don't
here.
wear open toe sandals. Any open toe sandals, eyebrows.
Exactly. You got to keep it 10 toes down over here. Because, you know, what's the difference with
summer?
Like over in Louisiana, right? I've never been there. What's it like when you go down?
Well, my parents met in Louisiana. So
oh wow.
I'm from up here. My dad's from Newton. My mom's from Marblehead. My mom, she's a chef. She's like Barefoot Contessa. I don't see her that much, you know what I mean? But she's a phenomenal chef. She cooked food for like all these for Marriott hotels, and my dad meetings and parties for them. So he would plan the event. She would do all the food, and they threw these like fucking bangers for the hotel down in New Orleans. That's when they met. That's when they found their love.
That's awesome.
Realized they were both from New England, and they came home. They worked at Marriott for like 20 something years.
I got friends that work in that kind of business, and it's nonstop partying. Not imagine being in New Orleans.
It's the hospitality industry is pretty crazy.
Witchcraft down there too, right? I mean,
yeah,
they got a spell down there.
My girl is a witch. She's not a Wiccan, but she's from Salem. She's a Salem witch.
No way. I actually do a lot of my whole life, my family goes to Martha's Vineyard and we go to Salem every year. Around this time, we go to Salem. What do you mean? She's from Salem, like for sure? Like her family goes back.
There, yeah. She's born and raised. Her mom grew up in the Point, dude, down there near there.
Tituba. Is her name Tituba?
No. No.
Oh man, because you know what's crazy, Steve? I don't know if you know this. Ever since the witch trials, every mayor has had a heart attack and died every year since then. No joke.
Salem?
In Salem, I think it's the mayor. You can double check that.
Every year.
Not every year, but every person that fills that spot has died from a heart attack since then.
Damn, I'm not running for mayor of Salem.
Yeah, me neither.
I just went to the doctor. I said my heart's strong, so I'm good.
Sometimes my heart starts beating so fast.
Now,
I'll
Zack,
be like sitting in Cheesecake Factory, and I'll see a dude.
Man, don't do it to me, man.
A dude with a stupid baseball cap.
Cheesesteak.
I'll just walk over there and I'll tell him, take it off. And they'll be like, take what off? Take your fucking hat off.
Oh my God, I'd be terrified if he came up to me and said that.
Yeah, I'm a complete psycho.
Yeah, that's literally what happens around here in Fairhaven. Like you go outside and people come up to you, you're like, yeah, all right, bro. All right, I'll take my hat off. I don't know what's wrong with my hat, but I'll take it off.
They shouldn't even let me in the mall.
That's awesome, man. So I see you've been growing that hair out for quite some time. You got quite the look going on, man. Is this the look you've always had your whole life, or is this just like you're just growing it out just to grow it?
Well, when I lost the teeth, I decided just to go full in with it. You know what I mean? Just, they tell you to never play full retard, but I've gone and done it.
Mick Foley, you remind me a lot of like Mick Foley and like a Barney Rubble mix. Or no, Fred Flintstone.
This is a Zack Calmus special.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Let me tell you something. There's no way they can't look at me. When I walk into the basket, bro, everybody knows me, but they're like,
the wolf pack, bro.
Oh shit, there he is. There's fucking crazy Zack. And you know what? They're fucking right.
Dude, I can't look at you the same now that you said that.
Some guy was like protruding my area the other day at the YMCA. He was being really fucking strange.
Oh my god.
I think we're like a few moments away from a reach around. And I turned around in the gym and I'm like, how do you want it? How do you want it? I'm like, how do you want it? And he's like,
dude. Oh my god.
He was like,
he was just like, I just ran out of toilet paper, bro.
He ran so fast, he ran out of the gym. He didn't talk to nobody. I saw him run down the stairs, get in his Camry, and go.
What do you mean you were a second away from a reach? Like paint that picture for us. Like,
I don't know. This fucking old dude was creeping. He was fucking so close to me while he was fucking sweating his old sweat all over me. It was weird, man. He was trying to talk to me, but I don't know if he was deaf or he couldn't see right. He was all up in my shit. I asked him, I said, what do you want to sit on my fucking lap?
He kept getting like this, a little closer, a little closer, a little closer.
Yeah. Yeah. He was one of those old guys, he's hanging on to 50 just barely. He's trying to still be fucking cool. Like, go home. You're somebody's stepdad. Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's kind of a compliment, though. I mean,
he was being weird, man. He was.
No, that's a serious thing, because if it wasn't you, right? Say for instance that was my little brother or Steven's daughter or something. That good thing you scared him, because now he will think twice about doing something.
Hey, he was just checking me out. You know what I mean? I could feel his eyes taking off my pants.
Is that how you picked up your girl, though? Like, you're like, how do you want it?
Yeah, I was like, how do you want it?
Like, yeah, I like that. That's what you should do before every fight. How do you want it?
You know what the worst thing is, man? When you're going about your day, you're grocery shopping, you're fixing the car, you're doing stuff, and you run into that person who can't take a fucking hint. Everybody's got one. They won't ever shut up. They won't fucking
I know those.
Leave your house. They sit there and they fucking
dude. The people that won't leave your house, I've struggled with this many of times.
I mean, like after a football game or something. It's not like it's different when you invite somebody, and that's different. But like, I've like had people over for like a quick parlay in a Patriots game, and they're sitting there like, all right, dude, we already had dinner. I asked you if you wanted some ice cream. You didn't want any of that. Thank God. Now get the fuck out of here.
He tried to do the YMCA on you. Just no,
you just gotta drop there.
What do you want? Get the fuck out of here. I fed you. We watched the game.
Yeah.
What, do you want to cuddle now?
I don't know. Yeah, then they start calling you. You ever deal with like the fucking people who stalk you on IG or stalk you on Messenger?
Yeah.
I knew you're on. Why aren't you answering me?
You do your best. You do your best to be nice, but it's like just over and over and over again.
Then you pick up and you have to talk to them for 7-8 hours. Like one of my friends, he lives down south right now, and every time I pick up the phone, I got to talk 6-7 hours on FaceTime with them. And not only that, this is something I struggle with. A lot of people around me, including him, like they don't respect what I do for a living. They don't understand what I'm doing, and it's something I've been struggling with a lot. I mean, Steve just kind of rebooted my motivation with the show. I'm working 100% now. I'm motivated. But for a while, people were really getting me to think twice about what I was choosing for my future. Have you been in that situation before, Zack?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to tell you this. A lot of times, people will And it sucks when it's people you care about and you think that they're trying to shoot down your dreams. But I realized something at 31 that sometimes people, when you profess your dream to them, you confide in them, what they're telling you by asking you those questions, or when it might seem like they don't support you, what they're truly asking you is, why the fuck do you need my approval?
I get that.
A lot of times kids go and they confide in their parents. Should I do this? Should I buy this car? Should I buy this fucking necklace? Should I date this girl? Should I break up with this girl? Why are you asking your dad and mom that shit? They don't want to answer that, so they don't. What they want you to do is be a man. You know what I mean?
I get that. But it's just weird because, you know, when like, say for instance, like I have a bunch of pet rats. People are like, why do you have those rats? Like they make me happy. Why do you cover mixed martial arts? You're not getting paid that much money. This and that. Why are you doing it? Because it makes me happy. Like it's almost like there's a huge disconnect with a lot of people that I've been realizing. And you're right. I probably shouldn't care what other people think. It's definitely renting free space in my head, but it does affect the way that you think sometimes when you're surrounded by people like that, which is why I appreciate people like Steve and, you know, the fighters, especially how you guys motivate yourself and the self-discipline that you guys have. Like, for you guys to be able to go in there and take these punches. And if you lose a fight or get a couple teeth knocked out, you're right back in there and you're saying, I already won. Before I even stepped in there.
The key to answer that question is, and I'll keep it easy, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated.
There you go.
And I know it's a very simple answer.
No lies about that, my friend. Ain't no lies about that.
But exactly, Steve, if you go only where you're celebrated, then you're not going to run into those problems with people doubting you. If you go where you're tolerated, you're hanging on by a thread at every moment of that existence of that relationship. Yeah. So they're never going to support you the way you want them to, no matter what you accomplish.
I got to go cry right now. I got to.
Isn't that true though? I kind of
no, it is. It is.
But Zach, I want to switch gears for you real quick. You were talking about bats. You know, having some people for Patriots games and things like that. The NFL season just kicked off. How you feeling about your football team this year?
I'm getting ready right now to play for the local men's team. We're having a night game.
Football? No, are you serious though? Like,
no, we used to have I used to play for the Marshals. We had a men's football league in Gloucester, and we'd meet up on Sunday mornings
and bring fish.
And they said it was flag football, but we used to fuck each other up.
Hell yeah.
And I got in a fight and got dragged off the field and kicked out of the league.
Oh, wow. You're getting kicked out of everywhere. And then you go to YMCA and you start kicking people out.
Let me tell you something. If I feel any type of threat, someone's coming for my neck, I'll go for their head.
Yeah, of course. I
will.
Now,
I've always been that way. I'm not afraid to get kicked. I'll be like, I've been kicked out of finer establishments than this.
What are you doing to get prepared for this upcoming fight? Like when you get presented an opponent, right?
Yeah.
Do you research them, or is it better like ignorance is kind of bliss?
Mm-mm. That's stupid. I can't stand guys that don't watch tape. If there's something available for you to watch, why not take the few moments to watch it? A lot of these guys will spend half their day watching garbage on TV, but they won't take 10 minutes to watch whatever tapes on the fighter. And there's a lot out there on me. There's a lot out there on Juan Torres. So I'm sure he scouted me and he picked up what he could. And I for sure know he's a lefty, and I scouted him. And I know he's tough as hell. He's never been knocked down. You know, and I've kind of developed the game plan based off of what I see. But that being said, he's done a lot of work. You know, I was on his Facebook scout the other day. He lost a lot of weight, so he gained a lot of speed. We'll see how that plays out in a 10-minute fight. You know what I mean? What I know is Juan Torres is a real warrior, and he's a real fighter. He went through boxing just like I did. He learned thick form punches. He knows all the punches, jab, cross, hooks. He knows how to move. He knows how to slip punches, and he knows how to counter. He's a real fighter. You know what I mean? So am I. So I think we're gonna have a great fight. That's all I can say about that. I don't think it's gonna be a slugfest because none of us are fucking stupid. Why would we go in there, two skilled guys go in there and swing like we're at a barbecue or a bar? That's if I'm at a barbecue or a bar, I'm still not even doing that. Lining them up with a jab, and I'm trying to find that too and fire off what I see fit for that opponent. I'm not. Brawling is good for the crowd. It's not so good to win a fight.
Throw some Cajun sauce in his eyes real quick while you're at the barbecue.
I mean, you got 250-pound guys swinging for the fences. That's anybody's fight when it connects.
Especially with bare knuckle, especially. How have your hands been holding up lately?
Oh, you know what? The biggest issue is guys see something not working for them. They're trying to walk the guy down, and they continue to walk him down and take punches and just walk it down until Mosey stops it. Now, that's stupid, but because now that's something that a lot of fighters either don't have the experience or haven't been in enough fights. Yeah, I don't have the experience to develop a game plan too. You know what I mean? Or a game plan on the spot. Sometimes you come up with a game plan and it definitely doesn't work. You're like, okay, this ain't working. I'm going to do something else. And you go to do that something else and that don't work either. So you have to come up with something on the fly.
Yeah,
and it's hard.
It's definitely one of the harder things is just watching guys just freaking just get themselves ripped up because it's just bad fight IQ.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of the fans, like I know you understand it because you cover fight sports, and I know your colleague understands it as well. But what I'll put out there is so many guys don't. They think I'm a big guy. I'll come out there, swing for the fences, and it works one time, but the second time it takes their eyeball.
Yeah, right. And especially when you're doing bare knuckle, you just see what happened to what was it, Starling when she just fought Ferreira. I mean, she was barely in there for 2 minutes.
It's bare knuckle, so you know, look at my knuckles. You know, and I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't conditioning them, punching sandbags, and you know, they're solid as rock, bro. My knuckles are solid as rock. I could punch cement. I could punch wood right now, and I'm not gonna break this shit. I've never broken my hand. I'm not going to. They're hardened by sand, and they're chilled by Gloucester Harbor. You know what I mean? So my hand solid as fuck. I've been running them through shit, sand, and punching bags with no gloves, doing everything I can to make my hands and my arms tough. My forearms are like solid metal. I've been running them through the sand at Good Harbor Beach and punching the sand and swimming in this cold ass water every day. So,
dude, does your wiener shrivel up?
Yeah, like real small. Like it's just
Dude, that's like
a ball bag.
Oh, man.
I don't know about you guys, but like when I go to like a pool party, right? Like opposite when I was a kid. But when I was a kid, I used to get in the pool and I get boners all the time. And I used to have to stay in the pool and I couldn't get out. And they'd be serving and I'd be hanging over the side and I'd be like, fuck.
It's because you need to urinate more before you swim.
Actually, funny story. I don't know if you got. Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, if you urinated more before you swim, you probably wouldn't get a boner in the pool because
I'll just pee in the pool.
Same issue. You know, I still do.
You still do.
Oh my god!
Have you guys been through this? This is
where's the
this is really embarrassing. All right,
I don't usually get out of the water for about 30-40 minutes after I swim.
There's an old wives' tale. Like if you pee in the pool, it would change the color. Well, I don't think that's true. But here, I got a really embarrassing story. And Zach, I want to hear an embarrassing story maybe you have from your childhood.
Okay, I'll tell you.
When I was a young kid, you know, for guys, if there's any girls listening, guys, when they're in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, we get random boners all the time. Like it was weird.
RBS, random boner syndrome.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, and I'd wear mesh shorts all the time, and like, you know, I'd have to like tuck it up. But one time, it was like one of the first times it happened. I was in like 5th or 6th grade, and my math teacher called me up to the front to do a math problem, and I had a raging boner, and I was in the back, and I was like, I can't go up there. I can't. She was like, get up here. I was like, you don't want me to do that, dude. I was like, fine. I got up. I went to the board. The whole class started laughing. The teacher started laughing. And I finished that math problem, went back. She never called me back up again. Just had to do it like that. I started erasing the math problem with my,
she saw it.
She saw I was like, come up here. Come up here. Yeah. Like the guy at the YMCA.
Wait a minute. Why did you have it in class?
There's a lot of
why did you have it in boys' gym class?
Yeah.
Why'd you have it?
Got him.
Why'd you have it?
Oh my God, bro! Oh my God,
man. You brought that upon yourself, Eddie.
That's a good one, though. That's a good one, bro.
Funny story. I don't know, man. So I got a couple, but so I told you I had to leave public school in like 7th grade because I was getting bullied and kids were making fun of me. I was a fat curly-headed fuck, and you know, it was brutal, man. Just getting made fun of every day for shit you couldn't control, you know. I think a lot of my pain still comes from that. You know, I was fucking bullied as a kid, and it stuck with me. They treated me like shit, bro. You know, and I didn't deserve to get treated badly. You know, I don't think any kid does, especially a middle schooler. So I went off to boarding school, and I ended up at this boarding school in 7th grade and 8th grade, and it was all boys. It was all boys, and we were all fucked. I'm gonna be honest with you. And we would like fucking do crazy shit there, bro. Like we'd break into the fucking classrooms at night. We'd break out of our dorms. We'd fucking get in fights. We'd break into the fucking teachers' houses and shit. Like it was just mayhem all the time. I'm talking like 110 special education students running around.
God.
All boys just causing mayhem. Like all the time.
I was in special ed. Yeah.
We had a class trip out to Washington, D.C.
Same here, dude.
we got this big busty hooker to come to the Holiday Inn.
Oh my God.
Out to the Holiday Inn, and she was big, and she was wearing this green dress. We were in 8th grade, and she come up. Yeah, she was getting ready. She was, you know, ready to go. Yeah, I'm getting fucked tonight. And I'm like, whoa. We were only in 8th grade, you know?
Yeah.
We're fucking good. We're dying. We're hiding in the stairwell. We sent it to the chairman's. We sent it to the headmaster's room. So he knocked on the door, and he was like, oh, shit. This well-to-do old man, Mr. Beecher, he had a fucking heart attack. Yeah. Dude had a heart attack. And then, the next day, he's like, yeah, good one, boys.
That's actually a real epic story, bro.
It was crazy. She was offended when she did. Like, so did you have her in Beaches? Like, nah. That same principal headmaster got in trouble for like extorting our parents. They had to go to jail.
So I went to Madison High School, and what that's known for, not only the steroids for the football, but one of our teachers and her husband worked there as well. Got arrested for hooking up with one of the boys on the football team. Ended up going to jail. It was absolutely crazy.
Well, and speaking of extortion and all that, what are your thoughts on the Brett Favre situation right now?
He was a boy. He was a stud.
Yeah, I agree. Like that movie with Adam Sandler. That's my boy, right?
That's my boy.
What are your thoughts on what, Steve?
Well, since we're already talking about it, like, you know, the extortion side of things, right? The kind of news going on right now is Brett Favre and everything he did with the Mississippi welfare and his daughter having like a freaking volleyball stadium built for, you know, her daughter's college or some nonsense.
Whatever.
The state of Mississippi of like $8 million or something like that.
I'll put this out there. And I don't want to offend anybody, but these things that Brett Favre did, right? These athletes have been doing it for hundreds of years. Only now, in 2021, do we possess the technology to call them out on their shit.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. That's a big part of social media.
That Brett Favre.
I mean, it's not this ain't nothing new. It's just if you get caught or not. That's the question.
Right. I think he should build a goddamn Disneyland on his front lawn, and they should allow it with Mississippi's money.
I'm thinking an amusement park in his front lawn. That'd be freaking great.
I think these NFL owners should be able to have multiple wives.
Yeah, yeah, they probably do.
Well, I mean, like everything's been crazy if you think about it. Like on top of that, like you get what's going on in the Boston Celtics head coach is being let go for or suspended for the year because of inner fraternization inside the the workplace.
Let a man be a man.
Apparently, like there's something in the contract where you're supposed that you're not supposed to do that or whatever. But I think there's more to it than just that, because if it was just that, I don't think it would be. I think
all hearsay, bro. You know, these what do you think Hollywood?
I know, right? My thing is why are we talking about somebody's personal life? Like, seriously.
Here's my point. Ready?
Why are we talking about this man?
This is where I'm going to make everybody agree.
Like, it don't matter if it's me, you, like I don't want no one talking about who I'm banging, who I didn't bang, who I shouldn't have banged. I don't think it's what you're talking about. We're just in this day and age where you have access to all this stuff, and it's just I guess sometimes some people don't know what to do with it.
What's the point of even being a celebrity if you don't get any special privileges? What's the point of being a public figure, being successful, and doing special things like being an NBA, being an NFL, being an MLB, being a professional anything? This is
BKFC, bro.
3% of people who could do it. A wrestler, a BKFC fighter, a boxer, an MMA fighter. There's 3% of people that can do it. So most people in the world don't have a friend, a daddy, a mommy, a cousin, a sister, an uncle, an auntie who do anything professional. So that being said,
yeah, it's true.
I'm completely sick of how regular people treat these people who are going out there to entertain them.
I agree. 100%.
I'm not making enough to go buy a new house.
the freeze framing.
Entertain the fan. That's a fact, and I'm not talking crap about pays, and I never have. I'm happy with what I get paid. But point being, I never got into this for money. I got into this to inspire people, and that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm having success on any level, because I like what I'm doing.
Here's what pisses me off all the time, and I'm sure Steve hears this a lot. Like, my friends will call me, we'll be watching the fighters, they'll be like, I can do that, I could beat this one up. Or like, I sent my mom a video of one of our former people that were just on the show, and she won the fight, and she's like, oh, I can go in there and beat them. It's like, I don't know, like, are you insane? Like, are you people absolutely insane? Like, they show they show very little respect. I agree. They show very little respect.
Oh, guys, like, I could race NASCAR, or I could do WWE, bro. I was at Killer Kowalski's School of Wrestling yesterday. I went there with a high-end wrestler, my buddy Cody Murray, who trained under Cody Rhodes.
Wow.
Kid. So he's graduated his university. Cody's a skilled fighter. He had a fight on UFC and a fight with BKFC in New York versus Devin Gibson on the last card. So, what I'm trying to say to you is, you step into any world. I don't care if you're a high-end football player. Don't mean you're going to be a great fighter. You could be a great fighter. That don't mean you're going to be great at basketball.
I like that you bring that point up, because Greg Hardy, I've heard rumors may go to BKFC.
But he's a great fighter. He was in the UFC, and he has fighting ability, and he's very skilled. So that's a natural switch. I'm saying that makes complete sense to me.
Matt Mitrione came from football as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, football is the perfect base for any type of combat sports. I was playing football before I got into boxing, and from taking all those hits, it just felt kind of natural getting punched.
I got to ask you something, because anybody watching this video right now that may not know you is definitely wondering, how do these teeth get knocked out? What's the story here?
Oh, my teeth?
About the teeth, exactly.
Bobo.
Bobo. I love that answer. Bobo. Wow.
I got them off guard. He cut them off guard right in half. He hit me
Wow.
so hard. Actually got broken right in half. It was from Walmart. I don't know. It don't really matter. He hit so hard. It connected so clean that first he hit the first one at the end of the first round. I thought my lip got cut, a piece of my lip off. And I said, hey, I lost a piece of my lip to my corner man. And he's like, no, you're missing a tooth. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I just turn around, start the second round.
Wow.
That's fine. And then he knocked the second one out when he heard that last time I went down. And it took a piece of my lip with it. And I was choking on my own flesh. So I actually was choking for like 4 seconds. I spit that shit up. And then I stood up. You know what I mean? So,
wow. That's
yeah,
brutal.
It happened. It happened the end of the second round. And the last time that he knocked him down, it was the 2 teeth.
Absolutely brutal. Zack Calmus, everybody. Zack, you had some really inspiring words tonight, and I really want to know where that guy from YMCA is at right now. But other than that,
I was just joking around about the guy. He's a little weird, but I know he's strange.
Oh man, so
what do you do? When a guy's fucking undressing you with his eyes, and I ain't got no problem with the homosexual community. Let me
what
tell
do
you.
you mean? I know.
Not at all. This guy wanted, he was getting a little too comfortable and a little too close. That's all.
All right, Zack, thank you so much. We're really looking forward to your fight for BKFC 30 here. What we like to do, and obviously there's still tickets available. Can people reach out to you and get tickets, or how do they go about doing this here?
Yeah, they can reach out to me. And put in my code name, Calmus, CALMUS, when they get their tickets. But mainly just order the tickets from BKFC.com. Order the tickets from BKFC.com. And I would definitely come out and watch the fight. You got nothing to lose. You're watching insane fights. Look at the card. Quentin Henry and Lorenzo Hunt, Bobo Bannon, and Ben Roswell.
Can't wait for it. What we like to do at this point in the interview, if you have any shout outs, any sponsorships, and a reason for people to tune in to BKFC, the floor is now all yours.
Man, I want to shout out Only Hands. I want to shout out Wayne, Fire Chief of Chelsea. I want to shout out Gloucester, Massachusetts. If you're watching, if you get a chance, tune in October 1st. I'm doing this for you as always. 01930. If you're not familiar with Gloucester, you could come here. It's north of Boston, about 45 minutes. It's a beautiful city. It's America's oldest seaport, and you're definitely going to have a good time if you come out here. It's beautiful food, beautiful people. And I want to thank you guys for having me on your show. I had a really, really good day, and I trained really hard. And honestly, I just hope you guys see the light in me that I see in you, that I'm really doing this for the right reasons. And, I just want to say to everybody watching, I am on the roster, but I ain't no better than any one of you who's watching. In fact, you guys are better than me for taking your hard-earned money to come out and see our talents. And I couldn't be more grateful for all of you. And I don't have fans, I have friends. I don't like that word, fans. Somebody that supports you and comes to your events and puts you on podcasts, those are your friends. So
well, I really appreciate you calling us one of your friends. You know, we love to just cover the sport and give you guys a platform so more people can be engaged in what you're doing, giving you guys you know a little bit of light into your life. So appreciate that you call us one of your friends. Zach, really wish you the best of skill. You know, hopefully you get in and get out of there, and you know, you get home injury free. So hopefully you can get back in there real soon, my friend.
yeah, you know, we gotta stay active this year. I think that's the main thing they want from me. You know, they've communicated with me that, you know, last time 12 months was way too long, and this time we had a 6-month layoff. That's too long as well. So we just gotta stay busy.
Thank you so much, Zach. We wish you nothing but the best, and we'll see you October 1st.
All right, thank you guys. I appreciate your time.
God bless.
All
right, Steve. I'd like to welcome.
I think we're gonna phase right into this, right?
Right
here.
We're
phase right in it because here's Miss Khortni Kamyron. How we doing this evening, my friend?
Good. How are you?
We're great. We just got done chuckling it up with Mr. Calmus. Now we're gonna kind of switch gears here. You know, bring the female combat Deviant on for the evening, and you know, I really appreciate the time. You know, I know you know you're getting ready to if the topology is correct, your promotional and professional debut.
So actually, my topology is wrong, but you are correct that this is my professional and promotional debut.
What's topology wrong about? Let's get it. I want to hear it.
So topology has me at 1-2 in MMA. I'm 2-2 in MMA. I'm 2-0 in amateur boxing, and I am 5-2-1 in amateur kickboxing and Muay Thai. So
is that what you prefer, the Muay Thai, or is it you know you want to make a bare knuckle kind of the poison you want to play with for the moment?
So I am actually just giving it a shot to see if I like it. I actually had no desire to fight MMA until I did it, and then I loved it. So it's one of those things where you never know unless you try. And it's a really great promotion to make my pro debut on. Like, there's a lot of eyes. There's, you know.
I mean, yeah. And you also get a good matchup with Crystal, because you know they this is one of the fighters they're kind of piping up, and they want to kind of hopefully build some things around. So it's a cool opportunity for you not just to make the professional debut with them and the promotional debut, but that's a fun fight to kind of really get you on. It's not like they just find you another local girl from the area. Yeah. You get somebody who they're trying to build something around. So you're gonna have eyes on you when you step in there October 15th.
Oh yeah.
Khortni, I gotta ask you something. The first thing that popped in my head when I knew I was interviewing you and I did all this research for you, I couldn't get over how you spell your name. Khortni.
When I said it, he's like, that's not Khortni.
I was like,
look at it.
And then I was like, oh, Khortni. Like, yeah, I can spell my name.
First look at it, it makes absolutely zero sense, right?
Yeah.
When
it's like if you're trying to have someone spell it out and the first time without ever looking at like, this is like when you ask like a 6-year-old to say, write out your name, Khortni. Yeah. Okay, that's how they did it.
I used to ask my mom all the time. Everybody's like, how the hell did your name end up like that? And so I would ask my mom, and she would be like, it was the drugs. It was the 80s. It was the drugs. But one night I finally got the truth out of her, and it was that
one of those nights
sounded it out, and this is what she came up with. But once you see it, you never forget it.
That's true.
I agree.
That's actually
really, that is the most interesting way I've seen Khortni spelled out.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of similar here. I've had those nights with my mom, and she told me she had me on a mushroom trip, and I was like, "Oh, that explains a lot, Ma." You know, and I was conceived at a Bon Jovi concert.
Okay,
that explains a lot, Mom. You know, It's like the Gonzo. Now I'm a Gonzo journalist. Like, you know what I mean? It's like absolutely insane. Have you always been really close with your parents? Because the 80s were wild. So it was kind of like we raised our parents, right?
Yeah, definitely. So my mom actually passed away earlier this year. So I'm not
sorry.
Thank you. I'm not close with her anymore. I definitely was in my 20s when I became a mom.
Oh wow.
And then, you know, the last couple years we kind of had some differences before she passed away. But things were smoothed over before she went. So, you know, there's that. My dad, I was an asshole as a teenager. And so, you know,
we all were though.
All teenage girls are great. They're very challenging. I know I challenged both of my parents as a teenager for sure. But ever since I started fighting, like my dad he will fly out of state and come to my fights. He tells all of his friends.
How excited is he for this? Is he over the moon for this one?
Daughter. With that?
Is he over the moon for this one?
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's really excited. Oh my gosh.
We all are. Like we're all like you are, Steve is, I your dad. Like this is
like everyone was sitting there. I've been hearing like combat sport fans complaining, like putting memes up of them crying because there's no UFC for like a month. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I know, right?
There's so much other stuff going on. Like not just BKFC, like BYB has an event going on. I think at some point in time. Early October as well, like and just because they don't have like big pay-per-views that aren't like lined up with superstars doesn't mean that like you're having a bored month. Because if memory serves me, I think that UFC still has 2 fight nights before they get to their pay-per-view. And it's just one of the weird things. It's like combat sports fans are fickle. No matter how much you give them, it's never enough.
Right. Well, and the crazy thing is the UFC pay-per-views are $75 for.
I have not bought a UFC pay-per-view since UFC 101.
Ooh,
dude.
Yeah. But you know the BKFC
and that's because the satellite went out. I was like, I'm never gonna deal with that again. Yeah. I was like, I'll find a way to stream it some other how. No, never.
Yeah.
And that's because I basically like I'm sitting there like. Did not know what happened with the main event fight for you know until like I had left and gone somewhere else to see what was going on. It's just like it's one of those things, and then you go and look at it like, all right, you're already paying a lot of times for like people have to pay the Disney Plus package, and you get ESPN Plus into that, so you have to buy ESPN Plus, then you have to buy UFC Fight Pass, and then you're still sitting there doing X amount of pay-per-views.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then have to buy HBO when Game of Thrones comes out. You know,
I already been doing it. Trust me, it's worth it. It's worth it already. They're about to do the time jump.
I have been
now, bro.
Binge watching Game of Thrones for like the last month, so I never watched it. And
but see, you're not gonna like even with what's going on with House of Dragon right now. You're not gonna miss what happened before. Like you could sit there and wait for and watch this whole thing out, but like it's not connected to anything. Like
really?
What they're doing with House of Dragon is like. I think like 120 some odd years before what happened in Game of Thrones. So it's not like we're getting ready to watch. What, in my opinion, what they'll do with this is get it to the point where we're gonna see what happens with them cleaning out the Targaryens, and you're gonna see things of that nature happen. But it's gonna be interesting to see. Like and from what rumor is they're finally gonna do the Jon Snow spinoff too.
Ooh. See, I know that name.
I don't know if you guys heard that name. For us, complete geeks over here, that's
Steve really is though.
Courtney. People have been waiting for the Jon Snow spinoff for 8 years. The fact that they did the House of Dragons before that, I think, is what pissed people off. And not just that, it's something they probably should have did, 2-3 years after the fact.
Yeah.
And now
I'm a little late to this party.
Jon Snow is actually, him and I think the other Stark kid is in the MCU right now as Icarus in the Black Knight.
I don't know what that means. Oh, I don't know.
I thought it was funny because in the Game of Thrones the last time the Jon Snow and the character seeing each other said the next time I will see you will be in black, right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
No, people
I'm
who
like,
don't know that if you go back and watch Marvel, the next time he sees him, the Jon Snow character is the Black Knight.
So Courtney, you know what's funny about Steve? I'll be on the phone with him and he'll say all this stuff with me like I know what he's talking about, and I don't know what he's talking. And I like everyone, like I feel like I'm so out of the loop. So is that how you felt? Like, is this why you're watching this? Because you felt
trying to get caught up. Yeah, I will be dead. I did not watch the Game of Thrones until the entirety of the thing was done. Okay. I hate cliffhangers.
Oh yeah,
no end.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of times where it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm been training all day. I'm super tired, and it's a cliffhanger, and I'm like, I gotta stay up for another hour. I can't just go to bed right now. This is terrible.
Oh, man. Like, I hate being like left in the middle of something when they leave you in a season. It's like, oh
yeah.
I wait for a lot of times for something to play out its entirety before I watch it. Like just like why I'm like, because I don't want to sit there and be like, what's going on with this? Have to wait for this season to come out. That I want to wait till the whole thing's there and I can just watch it in its entirety.
Yep. I think we've cleared almost 6 seasons in.
Oh, so you're about to get into the real craziness now.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Just and when you get ready to go into it, yeah, the Targaryen thing is still going on. In the Game of Thrones thing is still going on where it doesn't matter. Like you have inner family things going on. They were trying to get for somebody to get to play the little Game of Thrones things that they always do. They were trying to have the king, like a king's wife died. All right, you're gonna marry my daughter because I have this rare bloodline.
That's the first episode, right? Yeah,
he's 12. I'm like, oh my god, and she was up for the idea. I'm like, he's like 90.
Absolutely wild, right?
Yeah, dude, Game of Thrones is wild. It's fun thing. Like you're getting to the point where you're starting to like the way a lot of the stuff go, and you're starting to see a lot of these guys go around and all over the place. Like you just starting to see like Lord of the Rings just did another prequel. Like you have a lot of stuff going on where
Harry Potter does it. Yeah.
Well, no, the thing is I think when you look at stuff like that, there's no extended universe in anything. And I think that's why I think a lot of people are going to be upset with what goes on with what happens with Karate Kid and Cobra Kai.
Look how excited you get, Steve. Look how excited he is right now.
To talk about.
He doesn't talk about
it. I get just excited about the fights. I can't wait for Courtney and Crystal. I've been sitting there watching BKFC managers hype up Crystal for 2 years now. So I
sit there with nothing to watch. I'm missing
Courtney hops in there and see how she does it. People who don't know who Courtney is. She hasn't trained with slouches. She's been in a room with a lot of top level fighters. So you can sit there and say that they just gave Crystal some cane that we don't know. No, I'm
not a can. I can promise you that.
I think one of my favorite fighters that I've seen pictures on socials with is Tisha Torres.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's such a doll. Oh my gosh. She's fast too.
Tornado. The tiny tornado.
The first time I sparred with her, we were like, I don't know, 30 seconds into a round, and we were doing kickboxing, and she threw a head kick and my damn hand was down. And I stopped as soon as it landed. I was like, oh my God, I just almost died. And she goes, you gotta keep your hand up. And I was like, but you're so freaking fast, man. And she's like, okay, but keep your hand up. It's like, okay.
So the thing about her, like when you step in there with her and you know who she is, like, is it kind of weird for you? Like you know her backstory, like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, I'm here right now. So is it kind of sinking in? Like now I'm about to do some bare knuckle stuff. Like, I could you can do anything. You could be the next champion. You know what I mean? Like, and now you're training with the best of the best. So what was that experience like when you went home? Like, you must have reflected on that, right?
Oh, so the very first day I met her, I think I sat in my car for about 15 minutes before I went in the gym. And I was like, holy crap, this is really cool. Well, so there's a ton of UFC, Bellator, PFL, LFA, like the fighters that I train with are insane, high level strikers. Miranda Maverick, she's just phenomenal. And so
isn't her sister just about to fly out to the West Coast now because she's getting ready to kind of like really hunker down on her training and her career and everything too?
Yeah.
Wow.
People don't know about her little sister too. Like Miranda's like probably one of the better flyweight bantamweight type fighters.
Been doing it for a while.
I think her sister's like 18, 19.
Yeah.
So like
Frank Mir's daughter, about that age too. Right?
I got offered to fight Bellamere. That was
no way.
Yeah,
tell us, share.
So I fought April 30th, and then I fought again May 21st. It was 2 MMA fights back to back. And after my May 21st fight, I was a little banged up, and they came to me and they're like, "Hey, you want to fight Bellamere?" And I was like, as a pro debut, like, I don't know. I still on medical suspension. Like I was banged up pretty good. And so I said no, just because it wasn't enough time to heal and stuff. So I think actually
they ask you that too. That a lot of times that's why they do it. Because they're not going to be 100% and they want her to get over. That.
So and I wasn't going to make my pro debut against like that high level of a wrestler not being at 100%. And so they ended up giving the fight to Jessica Link. And
okay.
Yeah. So but I was just like, there's no way. I've got to
be smart. Yeah. You really
I'm not 19.
I would like to still see that matchup, but it's like one of those things like you have to be 100% when you go in for a fight. Like if you're not, it's like one thing if you have the time where you can heal and actually get a camp in, but like there's no point to sit there and just like, all right, I'm gonna be cleared off a medical suspension for 2 days and we're gonna fight 5 days after that. Like, no. Yeah, no,
I couldn't do that to myself. And like my whole amateur career, I stayed busy, like fight after fight after fight. There's times where I would go into the gym and they would be like, "Holy crap, you're fighting again?" Like, didn't you just fight 2 weeks ago? I'm like, yeah, I'm fighting again this weekend. And they're like, what the hell? And I like to stay busy, but when I transitioned into MMA, I took those 2 that were 3 weeks apart, and I kind of realized like this is a different ballgame. I've got to give myself more time to heal. I'm also turning 37 next Thursday.
Whoa, you don't look that at all. You got the hat back. You look like a young Olsen twin right here with the hat back, like a little rascal style, like me. Like I love this. You don't look that age at all. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Wow. I don't heal like a 19-year-old either, so I got to give myself a little bit more time.
So honestly, coming up and watching somebody as a younger age like that's a smart decision. Is that something that you have to go over with your team, or is that a decision you make by yourself? Like when they present you these opponents, right? It goes through your manager, it goes through you, and then you guys discuss it. Like, how did you go about this opponent and what makes this matchup right for you?
So they've actually been trying to get me to fight for BKFC for almost 2 years. And that was at 125. I hate fighting at 125. It's a hard cut for me. I don't like it. I don't feel as strong. I feel weak. I feel just kind of.
So why fight there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like at 135, I am happy. So Scott's my manager. He's like, "Hey, do you want this fight?" And I'm like, "Is it at 125?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, "No, I don't think so." But it was also like.
So you have a bad experience with this, obviously, right?
No, So I've fought from 125. 135, 145, 155. I fought a very wide range of weights. 135, I feel 110% at. I fought twice at 125, and it was just it's a rough cut. I get really, really tiny. I don't like being that tiny. I feel next to 125ers, I'm freaking massive. even at 125, I'm like significantly bigger. The 135ers, I'm shorter, but just as stocky as they are. You know, I'm not a skinny kid. I'm not a skinny person.
None of us are. Look at who you're talking to over here. Come on.
So 135, just as soon as he told me, he's like, hey, they want to offer you Crystal Pittman at 135 and it's in Colorado. I was like, holy crap. Like, you know, everything just kind of lined up. Like, it's a worthy ass opponent, making my pro debut here at home, which has always been something that meant a whole lot to me. And so I went to the coach and I was like, hey, they're offering me this fight. Like, what do you think? And he was like, you know, give me a couple days. Let me do some research. And he came back and he was like, we'll get you there. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's do this. Yeah. So I always, like, if I get a fight offer, I'll sit on it before I do anything else. Like, I'll sit on it. I'm like, does this make sense for me? If I want the fight, then I'll talk to everybody around me, talk to my team, you know, the coaches, obviously, because it's their job to make sure I get there.
Do you talk to your family about it as well?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. So I have 2 teenage kids. And so obviously their input means a lot to me.
Because if you're traveling, you got to leave them back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a big thing.
Yeah. Yep. So the kids know, you know,
mom's going to kick some ass like a super.
Yeah. And they're okay with it.
Without gloves, right? Without gloves.
Yeah. My daughter's, she's a little skeptical about this one just because it's a little bit more barbaric than gloved fights. But after the way my face looked after my last fight, like, I'm not really worried about it.
Is it though? Like that's a big debate. And I used to do a show with James Nick Sweeney from The Ultimate Fighter season 10, who was a heavyweight. And we were talking about the damage done without gloves and the damage done with gloves.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on that?
So that was actually like the selling point that I had when even talking to my boyfriend about it. Because he's like, man, bare knuckle. I'm not a big fan of that. And I was like, okay, but listen. So with gloves on, I'm going to hit somebody as hard as I can, as many times as I can, because I have that layer of protection, you know, and it's a lot of damage to the brain. And this is one thing that Scott tried telling me too. And so, you know, I looked it up. It is less damage to the brain getting hit with bare knuckle. All of the wounds, if you will, are superficial, right? It's all skin shit. You know, I don't care what, if I end up with a scar on my face, you know, at least I'll have a really cool freaking story to tell about it.
Yeah.
But you know, it heals. The human body does amazing things. In a week, my face went from like, my eye was swollen shut and like black eyes. I didn't want to go into public. And a week later, like, it was like nothing had ever even happened. You know, and again,
how long does it take for that to go away? Like, do you do any special stuff?
Kind of
like afterwards to heal? Because
so I put a lot of arnica on my face after.
What is that? What is that?
I don't know exactly what it is. A friend of mine was
it's a Stop and Shop bag. I put a Stop and Shop bag over my head and I just
yeah. My friend was like, here, you need to try this and it'll make your face heal up so much faster. And I did, and sure
what
as
is
shit,
it called again?
Arnica.
Steve, have you heard of that?
It's
Something
in this little jar and you just smear it all over your face. And
so it's not like it's not like a disinfectant. It actually heals scars. Like say for instance, I have a big scar on my face and a lot of scar tissue, and there's a line there for 10 years. It would get rid of that. Is that what you're saying it does?
No, it just helps like with the bruising. I don't know what it does. Like, I'm looking it up right now. Shit, I was looking it up right now.
Because I've heard something like that for people that have scars, like tattoos, like they try to get tattoos over their scars that doesn't work. So they use this medicine. I don't know what it's called. I've heard of it before that actually helps heal the skin and the scars of it. but I don't know how that would work for fighters. So I'm definitely interested in what you're talking about.
So, I put it on like the bruising from my last fight, and it just, I don't know.
Cucumbers, like you put cucumbers over your eye.
Right? Yeah. So I really don't know what it does, but my friend, she swore by it, and so I decided to listen to her for once. And
is your friend in the music industry or something? Because I see you got all these gold records behind you. Steve, you see that?
Those actually belong to my boyfriend. They're just signed albums, and
I'm a pretty big collector of things too. So
he really is.
Signed memorabilia all over the place.
That's Stone Sour. That's Motionless in White. There's some Slipknot.
Stone Sour.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That is not a cheap piece right there. I'm gonna tell you that.
No, him and I are both like really big fans, and prior to us meeting, he's met the band like a handful of times. And
no way. Yeah. I'm a metalhead myself. I write metal music. I'm called Evil Eddie. That's my whole upbringing. Oh! I should press my fingers into my eyes for that one. Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's absolutely insane. Is that something that you always listen to, like as a kid coming up? Because that sets you aside from other girls. I hope you know that. Like, did you grow up listening like Kitty or something? Like, come on, like that's insane.
No, I actually figured out
Jericho. Come on.
I put 2 and 2 together with the Slipknot and Stone Sour thing. Like when I was pregnant with my daughter, I was 19.
Wow. So you were a young one.
Yeah.
So Steve actually can relate with you on that. He's got a young one as well. And, you know, holding all these collectibles that someday, guys, they're going to come to you and go, Mom, Dad, time to get rid of this stuff. You know, that's what we're doing with my grandma right now, honestly. Like I got all my grandfather's
they're gonna have a hell of a time to get me to part with all this stuff.
Yeah. So
I haven't gotten everything framed. I got like literally like 2 whole drawers full of like jerseys and gloves and things of that nature that I have to get framed and put up. I have like so many like 8x10. I got to the part where like I'm just getting cards or things of that nature, like when I go and meet like an athlete or something like that, just because I ran out of room for things. I don't have room for anything else.
I know I'm running into that problem too. Like I have all my wraps and my pictures and stuff from my amateur career, and I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do with all of these? And now I'm starting.
Yeah, no, like when my stepdaughter and my younger daughter used to compete, and like they had medals and belts they won from going to grappling tournaments, which is now just like sitting in the garage because they're just it's like what was the point? You guys are going to be like proud of this. Like, why do I have to put this stuff up? I already got enough stuff down here.
Hey, at least you don't have pet rats roaming around all of it. So I got all these collectibles down here and rats in my bed. So at least it's not like that, guys. Come on.
Yeah, man, you gotta be careful, man. He eats them cards up. You can be pissed.
No. They're not coming over here. I will be. They're all rats,
but let me bring it back here. So obviously, you're as you said, you're 37, you're making your professional debut. What are some of your goals like before you get ready to get out of combat sports? Like what do you want to what do you want to do? Where do you hope your professional career takes you, regardless if it's with BKFC, if you go and do kickboxing, boxing, or you do MMA,
put on a mask for Slipknot.
If you can literally write your own story, like where does it go?
So I never had a plan with any of this. I never had a plan to fight competitively, let alone go pro. It's just kind of one of those things. I've been taking it as it comes at me. And as I get to each step, I'm like, okay, I want to do this. Like, it started to where I wanted to fight outside one time, and I fought outside like 4 times, and I wanted to fight for a title. Well, I fought for 4 titles, so I'm doing, like kind of making goals as I come to different places. I wanted to go pro. I wanted to make my pro debut at home. I would love to fight outside of the country. I think that would be really freaking cool.
And when they go to London, if BKFC,
yeah.
when they go back to London, is that something you might want to do?
Yeah, like I would, as long as I'm not disinterested after this fight, which I don't think I will be. I think I'm just gonna love every minute of it.
Whoa. Stop. As a journalist, I have learned in school to stop you there. And rewind. What do you mean disinterested? Is that obviously?
So
she said she's not going to be disinterested with BKFC after this.
Yeah. So if I
like where her heart
do or do not like it, so I have a feeling I'm going to like it because I'm, strange like that, and
I'm a fighter at heart, and I like to get punched and give people beatings. So yeah.
Yep.
I got to talk about that after, but yeah, that's absolutely wild. Like, all right, let me ask you now, were you like a bully growing up? Were you like the girl going around beating girls up? Like, I don't need gloves, girl, come on.
No. So as a kid, before I turned 16, I was like the straight A student, cheerleader, volleyball player, like social butterfly.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so something happened. Now you're wearing black shirts, have a backwards hat, and fighting in bare knuckle. So what happened here?
Life.
Exactly.
A lot of life experience, because that was a long time ago.
Everything else in between.
Yeah.
Slipknot happened. Slipknot happened. That's what happened. When you met your boyfriend, what was something that you liked about him? Because I'm going through something right now where I won't date anybody because I'm 33, right? I got out of a relationship that I thought was going to be the right relationship. It ended up being very toxic. It drew me away from what I loved. And now I'm very nervous about committing. What made you commit? Because not only do you have to commit, but you also have to look after your career as well. So what really made you go with this? That's really special. And I hope he realizes
funny that you asked me that because he's like sitting right here.
I know. I can tell.
Yeah, tell me about
I told you my mom had me on mushrooms. I know he's right there. Come on.
So actually I had after I was married, I had a really shitty divorce, and I had really high standards. Like there was just this group of things where I was not going to settle for anything less, and he ended up just kind of fitting into every single one of those.
Are you dating Brad Pitt?
Huh?
Is it Brad Pitt? Are you dating Brad Pitt secretly or something? Are you dating the lead singer of Slipknot? Like, what? Wait, hold on.
He says he's way better looking than Brad Pitt. I might have to agree with him.
Oh wow, that's.
But
awesome,
he's been like really super supportive, especially like with my fight career. He's
a metalhead Brad Pitt. I'm like thinking about it, like a metalhead Brad Pitt is kind of badass, honestly.
Yeah, he's like a metalhead Brad Pitt.
That's like what I try to go for. I'm jealous now. I'm so jealous.
Yeah. So no, he
he turns you into a bad girl, huh?
Maybe.
Now he's got a girlfriend bare knuckle fight. Like that's bad. Like if I had a girlfriend that was bare knuckle, dude, that's bad. If you can hear me, bro, that's badass, bro. Winning.
He's over here shaking his head. Yeah.
But I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, bro.
But he helped me build my brand and my website. That's and awesome. Like set everything up so that when I did go pro, like here is my fight career, here's what I have to offer, go buy my shit, support me,
buy my shit.
Yeah, go buy my shit.
Oh man.
So it's plug time. Go buy my shit.
So another thing about being a fighter is, how does he feel about it? Sitting ringside, that as badass as it is, it has to be really hard. Because I'd be so protective.
He says it's really stressful. The first time I fought after we got together, he was actually out of state dealing with some stuff. So he had to watch on the computer, and he said he was nervous the whole time. The next fight after that, we went to Florida, and he was in the corner helping my coach because it was just us. And I mean, he was nervous for the round. He was pacing
better with him there or without him? Because okay, so I asked him because I'm more nervous about
Yeah, so I can definitely relate with that. I can remember my son when he fights, and it like makes me cute. But when I fight, I'm like, I'm just going to be in the office. So I'm sure that he's probably going to fill up. He said that it's hard for him to be in the corner.
he carries around a white towel.
Yeah, it is so stressful when you're potentially going to get hurt about it. Deal.
They're looking up to you, you're a fighter. That's bad. If I was going to school, I'd be like, fuck me, step up. I'd be like Nate Diaz, yo. I'd be like, he can get it too.
Right? Yeah.
The Rock, he can get it too.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I love Nate Diaz.
How would you go deal with this situation?
So my son actually doesn't tell everybody that he's a fighter. He kind of keeps that to himself. He only like tells his close friends because he doesn't want people to start crap with him. He doesn't want other people to start shit and be like, hey, go kick this guy's ass because he's fucking with me. But we've also had the conversation too, where, so my kids have been training since they were young. My son started when he was 6. My daughter started when she was 9. So they know enough that they can protect themselves. They can protect other people. And so I've always had conversations with them, like, do not start a fight, because if you start a fight and people know that you know what you're doing, you're going to get in that much more trouble. If somebody starts a fight with you, you do not fight back. You just disable the situation, walk away, get them down on the ground. Don't hurt anybody. Just disable the situation. And if you see somebody getting their ass kicked and there's something you can do about it, disable the situation.
But kids are so mean nowadays. I dealt with bullying. It's weird. I was a jock metalhead on the football team in a metal band, and I would disengage people that would pick on the nerds, because the nerds were actually really nice kids and they didn't start any issues. It's like these kids nowadays, especially here in the city, like my little sister dealt with a lot of stuff because she's a little bit overweight, you know what I mean? And she went through stuff like trying to lose weight in the wrong ways, and it really messed her up mentally. It's very difficult for children nowadays to deal with something like that. So it has to be very difficult for you as a parent, especially. What made you sign your son up for fighting? And
so actually it was my daughter that started everything.
Did you say your son or your daughter was the fighter?
She said her daughter.
Oh, okay.
So I have a son and a daughter, and they both have trained.
Okay, all right.
My daughter at 9 years old got invited to go try a jiu-jitsu class with a friend of hers. And she loved it, and then when my son was old enough to pay attention and do the right stuff, he started training too. And I started kind of with all of them. So
that's how Lauren Murphy started, right, Steve?
Is just the family element.
Yep.
Right, like Lauren Murphy, Steve, right? Isn't that how Lauren started?
If I remember correctly, I think she was just doing it later on in life, like how Courtney is too.
Yeah. I met her a couple months ago.
Very intelligent.
She did her camp at the gym that I train at.
A matter of fact, Steve got me an interview with her, and she went in on me. She's really intelligent person. Training with Benson Henderson and all those guys. Do you follow along with current events when you're in camp, or do you put that to the side?
Just as far as like the fight community goes.
Yeah, like tonight, Bellator happened.
Yeah. So my coach is actually in Ireland.
Hey, there you go.
A Bellator fighter. So yeah, I try to pay attention, like all my social media. I like all the, fight promotion pages, so I get to watch like the clips and stuff.
So I gotta ask you. Both you and Zach don't have Twitter accounts, from as far as I can see.
I do not have a Twitter account.
Why? This is an issue, though, Steve. Right? It's an issue. This is an issue. We want to promote you. Make a Twitter, and all you have to do, you download an app called IFTT. So if you have Facebook, obviously, it will post right to your Twitter account for you immediately. Yeah. Do that. It will help you.
You don't even have to really engage with people. You just get the post to go out,
Okay. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, I have like all the social media but Twitter. That's the only one I don't have.
It's a big one in combat sports. I'm telling you right now.
Well, no, it's a fairly big community, but it's just as toxic as the rest of them.
All right.
So in a second,
you got to be honest. Like you have your good and your bad and your ugly when it comes to all different social media platforms. It all depends on what you get out of it, what you're looking for. But you're always have pocket full of idiots. I guess I'll say it that way.
Oh yeah. I've been pretty fortunate that I don't have to deal with a lot of assholes on my stuff. I'll get like the occasional inbox message.
From the 65-year-old man, right?
Yeah. Or hello there, beautiful woman. I love you so much. I'm like, clearly you know me well enough to love me. Like, okay. So I just end up like, at first I was like, I would try to engage a little bit, and now I'm just like, bye. Bye, Felicia. I'm done. I'm not even going to talk to you today. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Not today, Satan. Not today.
Yes, not today.
So I guess Eddie's been trying to pop up with this MMA trivia. I know.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Okay. I know he's trying to have some fun with it, but
all right.
We'll see what Eddie's got in store for us. He always has something fun with us. That's why he's my right hand, my producer. I trust him with what he does. Sometimes he goes a little off the rails, but for the most part, he tries to keep it fun. Now, outside of your fight, who else are you looking forward to on the October 15th card? Who are you sticking around to watch?
So there's a lot of really good Colorado talent that's fighting on this card. Like, I know Chris Camozzi, Josh Copeland, Brandon Gertz, they're all fighting on the card. There's a couple of guys that were at the bare knuckle tryouts that I saw made it to this card as well, and I'm excited to watch them. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but there's two. One of them is he's like a 30-3 professional boxer, so I'm really excited to watch him. And then there's another guy, and he's a bigger dude, probably a 205, 185, 205. He's a bigger guy, and he was hitting the bags at the tryouts, and like the room just got silent because he was hitting so hard. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, I don't want to get hit by that man." So I want to watch him fight too. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then the title fight, because Isaac Doolittle is Jessica's boyfriend, and Jessica's a friend of mine. So
Richmond ain't no joke.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm excited to just watch it.
I've been following Mike since his Bellator career. It's funny you said you really look at his signed gloves that still have the blood from his winner sitting right above my head.
Nice. Well,
so
cool.
he's definitely one of the characters. I think he probably should have been bare knuckle the whole time. But it was one of these things, it took a while for Dave and company to kind of get things the where it's going. Gonna be interesting to see how he continues to build the female divisions, as well as kind of adding into the young talent, as well as so some of the
did you watch Misfits fight?
Now you said you like Nate, right? Do you feel Nate's gonna come to bare knuckle boxing? Zach already said that he's made for it. This is where he's gonna want to be.
It seems to be the path that everybody is following. So I would love to see it. I think it would be freaking phenomenal.
I'm also gonna double back on that because also one of the bigger MMA free agents just came out, where Eddie Alvarez just had a amicable split with ONE FC, and a lot of people sitting saying he's going to go back to Bellator, PFL. I'm like, I don't know, man. I think he's primed and ready for something like BKFC. I think he would do really well there.
Just got a rat on your shoulder?
Oh, that's my hair. That's my rat tail. Remember rat tails were in style in the 90s?
Oh my God, yes.
That looks like your rat, dude.
No, that's not my rat, bro. That's not my rat. That's just.
Oh, so you really weren't kidding about the rats?
Yeah,
no, he wasn't.
No, I sleep with. They actually sleep in my bed with me. They cuddle with me.
What?
In my bed, yeah. Blake Builder was.
Courtney's like,
Oh, come on! You can't love Slipknot and not love to sleep with rats. And imagine the girls I bring over off of Tinder, come over and sleep with.
Here, my boyfriend wants me to show you guys this really quick.
Oh,
there you go,
wow! You know what? So when I was growing up, Slipknot was such a huge influence on me. And people may look at them as demonic, right? But if you listen to their lyrics, look beyond, like Bare Knuckle, right? When people came out with mixed martial arts, it's human cockfighting. If you look deeper into it, there's such a beautiful art. There is such a beautiful story in each fighter's development, each fighter's progress. But not many people find beauty in rats, right? So, guys, I don't mean to throw this off, but I have something special planned for you guys.
Oh boy, what do you got for us?
So I'm gonna go into the evil bag of tricks.
Oh boy.
And I'm gonna roll this up for you guys. All right, are you guys ready for this? I don't think you are, because I didn't tell you guys anything about
What do you got, brother? Let's go.
Not prepared.
True or false? True or false? It's gonna go to either one of you guys. You guys got to tell me true or false. Who wants to start this off?
Let's just go, dude. Get it out.
I'm gonna give it to Steve. The UFC belt is made of real gold. Now, both of you guys answer, and I will tell you guys the real answer. Steve, true or false? True, kind of. It's gold plated.
Yeah, it's plated.
It's gold plated. So if you bring a gold plated necklace to the pawn shop, you're not getting what you want after.
No, I think the ones that are probably worth more are the ones that, like, you get the belts like Shevchenko has, where they got, like, she's got like 8
the gems
that nature, like when you have the multiple title defense runs.
That's exactly the belt that I was thinking of when he asked that question. I was like, I know she just put a picture up with like all these little things in there, but I know those are probably real, but the other shit's probably not.
When I bring that up, like, do you guys like the newer belts or the older belts?
I like the newer ones just because, like, the older belts are just like just this big gold plated nonsense.
All right. Question number 2. At UFC 2, Steve Jenham, the Ninja Cop, won the title after winning just 2 fights.
True.
Steve?
Yeah, I'll go with that too. True.
You're both wrong. False. Ken Shamrock couldn't continue at UFC 3 after an injury.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He was the third one. You're right.
Okay. A little difficult, right? I wouldn't have gotten that if I didn't look it up. UFC 37.5. Do you guys remember when they did 0.5s?
Oh, yes.
Was the very first MMA card on cable / Fox Sports Net, and Robbie Lawler was the first fight aired. True or false?
False.
Around that
wasn't Robbie. Robbie was probably the main event that night. What are you talking about?
So the main event that night was Chuck Liddell versus Vitor Belfort.
I'm gonna say true.
Steve?
I don't think it was the first fight that night.
It's true. UFC 37.5 was headlined by Chuck Liddell versus Vitor Belfort.
Oh, that's right, because they probably only had like 5 fights on them cards. I forgot.
First fight aired was Robbie Lawler, and a quick little gem for you guys. Robbie Lawler, when he was fighting, actually missed prom to fight.
Dang.
Isn't that great? Or he went to prom and then had to fight out, something like that. But it's crazy. He's been around for so long. UFC 37. Come on, that's 200 events later, or 230 events later. Wow.
Well, he left and then came back
Something
too.
like
People forget about that.
Question number 4. Matt Serra was the first American black belt under the Gracie family. And guys, if you're listening to the show right now on audio on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, make sure to tweet us at Combat Deviants as well. True or false, Matt Serra was the first American black belt under the Gracie family.
I don't know if he's the first, but I think he's like the one that they pipe out.
I'm gonna say false.
It's true. He was studying under Henzo. But Steve, I want to look into what you were saying. Maybe that's the one they just pipe out, like you're saying, right? So we got to look into that one.
I just think he's the biggest one because he like Henzo and obviously Matt has opened his gym and he's been pretty successful with that. Like they have a big circle family over there. Henzo and Matt and Tom DeBlass and all them guys over there. They're all really close. So,
oh man, are you guys ready for this one? You guys aren't ready for this one.
You've been messing us up. Let's go.
I dug into the bag on here.
I know, right?
Shogun Rua used to be a runway model. True or false?
In Brazil, that wouldn't surprise me. But actually, you also have to think about this one too, right? Because he was also big in Pride. They probably would have made him do something like that too.
Right.
All right, Shogun Rua. It's true.
I'm gonna say he was.
He was a male model in Brazil, and he also acted in a Portuguese soap opera, bro. All right, question number 6, bonus. This is the bonus one. This is crazy. Theodore Roosevelt was into MMA. He wrestled, he boxed, he did judo most of his life, and was the first American to earn the brown belt.
First American? Oh, see the wording always.
We're talking Theodore Roosevelt, bro. Yo.
Shit.
Didn't Teddy Roosevelt have like problems walking too? His body was falling apart like towards the end.
I'm gonna say false.
I'm gonna go with false too. That's just too many.
I didn't write an answer for this one. No, it's actually true. This is a true thing, according to history. Bet you didn't learn that in school, kids. All right, that does it for true or false here. Moving on here, we got to ask you something else here coming up, and I don't know if you're actually ready for this one, but we want to know your opinion on this. Jose Aldo.
Jose Aldo, the Brazilian GOAT.
Was he? Is he?
Do you feel he was or is?
This isn't true or false, by the way.
Yeah, no. I don't. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I always felt it was either Anderson, the Nogueira brothers, something, things of that nature. Maybe Vanderlei for a period of time could have been.
I mean, I'm sure he's up there, but I wouldn't say that.
I say he's 5.
That's what we were talking about. If we had to do a top 5 fighters out of Brazil, what are the first 5 fighters that come to mind? I mean, the list goes on. There's Ruiz, Verdum, Henzo, the Nogueira brothers, Vitor, Nunes, Lyoto Machida, Cyborg, Jacare, JDS, Damian Maya. But Steve, do you have to be a champion to be on this list? Like,
I wouldn't say that. It's top 5 fighters just came out of it. Doesn't mean you have to be a champion.
And does it mean you had to, like, I would throw I would definitely throw the Gracie family up on there with just a mix. Like,
I mean, that's kind of rhetorical at this point in time, but like
it would be the statue.
Fighter, was it Henzo? Because
so this is what it would be. It would be Hoist, right? But behind the statue is just everyone holding onto his shoulders in another line for another statue behind it. Like they walked out. You know what I'm talking about here? Yeah. The family walk. I know. So the statue would have to be extended. But I would definitely put Hoist.
I mean, I'm just talking about like from the common era. Like I'm not like you can bring guys from the early era, but I'm just sitting there saying when you're asking me, it's Anderson, it's Minotauro Nogueira, Junior Dos Santos has to be like you can put Junior Dos Santos for BC over Doom basically, 3-3A. Amanda Nunes, and then you have to bring in Jose Aldo at that point.
You have to, right? So if we get down to that, the top 5, he makes that list. What do you have to say here, Khortni?
Who's the guy you would put number 1?
I don't have enough knowledge of Brazilian.
Would Amanda make it? Would you?
I would say she'd definitely be in the top 5 for sure. Just from a female perspective,
I agree.
She's insane. Like she's a monster.
You can't put 5 guys. You got to put a female in. Like that's so.
Well, important. I mean, especially that because what Amanda's done over the past. 4 years, like not just.
But what about Cyborg though?
Ronda in the way she did, but who she's laid in her waist since then.
Yeah.
How about Cyborg though? All right, let's do an elimination.
She put Cyborg on her face. The end. There's nothing else to talk about,
dude. Yeah, the period. Oh, that's what Dana said.
For the one person who stopped her, she immediately avenged it.
Yeah,
in dominating fashion.
Yeah,
that's what you want out of a GOAT. One of the top fighters of whatever, like of that era, of her weight class. People want to start throwing around like she's the one that they should kind of moniker the greatest women's fighters. Like you can even talk about your women's wall. Like I mean, it's probably Chris Cyborg, Gina Carano, Ronda Rousey, and Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to throw. I guess you would have to put like some. Maybe you get some people who want to throw Joanna Jędrzejczyk in there because she meant a lot for the some of the lighter weight female fighters. I mean, she had a quite impressive run at one point in time, but
Claudia,
he just couldn't beat Rose Namajunas.
Yeah. Oh, gross. Now, Khortni, when you think about it, if I had a little girl, right, who would I want her to follow after in females mixed martial arts? Like, who do you have your eye on right now that excites you currently right now that excites you in combat sports for females?
For MMA, it's a toss-up between Amanda and Valentina.
Yeah, that's a big one because the both of them have fought too, right?
And they've defended, and just I don't see anybody beating Valentina.
All right, I gotta switch the gears here, Steve. Khortni, what did you do at 17? Where were you at 17 years old? Because we just saw a 17-year-old get signed to the UFC.
I did a lot of stuff at 17. I probably should not have done at 17.
Could you imagine being fighting for a UFC contract at that age? I was trying to figure out how to kiss girls at 17.
So,
you know what I mean?
My daughter will be 17 in February. I have a 16-year-old that I train with who's really good. And I just 17, you're still such a child. It's crazy. I mean, more power to that kid. I'm very happy for him. Damn.
It's kind of weird, right? Because you look at somebody like Sage Northcutt, right? And he came in at a young age. Is it smart to enter this early, you think?
Oh, look, you can see my dog. So I didn't start until I was 29. I wish I would have started when I was younger, but probably not as a teenager. Probably
would you let your son fight for a like, would you sign that permission slip?
He does fight. He actually fought 3 weeks ago.
But for like the Contender Series, would you think that would be smart?
Maybe not at 17, just because you're so young, and you're not going to be able to fight forever.
Yeah.
Right. So my big thing with the kids is making sure that they have a backup plan. Even I sat there talking to Miranda Maverick a couple of weeks ago, and she has like a normal day job on top of being a UFC fighter. And
what does she do? I didn't know that. What does she do?
She works for Hershey's as like oh shoot, what did
I'm about to go there.
Yeah,
in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so she's got a remote job working. I don't know. I can't remember what she said she does for them, but
I'm going there next week. If I see Miranda Maverick, I'll be.
So she lives here in Denver. She works remote for them. But she was talking about going to work the next day, and I was like, wait a minute, like you have a normal job too? And she's like, yeah. I was like, holy shit. Okay, well, I feel a little bit more normal now because I have a job too.
Yeah, catch me October 18th.
So before we get ready to wrap this one up, obviously, want to get back to one or two more fight questions and let you go upon your way. So obviously, you're excited for it. How do you feel like this thing's gonna play out for you? You think that you're gonna be able to get the better of Crystal decision? You can be able to overwhelm her. How do you feel like this plays out for you?
So I never plan on anything just because you never know what could happen, right? I want to go out there and fight to the best of my ability. I want to use all the new skills that I've developed and not get hit in the face as much. I want to try some counter shots, like just try to test my abilities more. I'm not one on saying like so-and-so is going to be more dominant or anything like that. Like I really think that her and I are just going to go in there and we're going to bang. And, with it being a female fight, I think that it's going to be exciting. I mean, my last 4 fights have all been fight of the night. So I know what I can bring to the table, and I know she's tough as shit. So, I just see a really great fight for both of us. And
so if you would say anything, you just say, make sure you tune in because you're going to watch fight of the night when you catch us getting into the ring there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Like it'll be a good fight, regardless of, if it's fight of the night or, somebody gets a knockout or somebody busts somebody's face open, like it's going to be a good fight for sure. Because I know how tough I am. I know how tough she is. It'll be great.
Our tickets
I'm looking forward to it. I guess let everyone, like, as we get ready to wrap it up, let everyone know
our tickets available
where they can get tickets, where they can the BKFC code to make sure you guys get your credits there, and any sponsors you may have for this fight. Anyone else you want to give some love to? The floor is yours, Khortni.
So I have tickets in hand. If you want to come visit me and pick up physical tickets, I have links for the pay-per-view or the lower level ticket seats on my website and on my Facebook.
What's your website?
It's headhunterfight.com.
I actually went there and I was telling Steve, it actually looks amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I put a lot of work into that. So everything's right there on the website. It's also on my social media bios. You can just click the link tree and it'll take you to the site. Let's see. For sponsors, I'm actually still working on some sponsorships for this fight. I do have these guys, HK.
Oh, the big reveal on the back of the hat.
Yeah, so they've actually been with me since my 4th fight. They've been a long time, really good friends, really amazing supporters. I have my friend Justin. He owns Switch and Addiction, which is he's a personal trainer. switching from bad addictions into good addictions.
We keep getting that. I love that. I'm a hoarder. I'm a recovering addict myself, and it's so crazy. And you guys really inspire me, and it really breaks me down in tears when I go through the editing of all these interviews, and I continue hearing this, and then I keep watching your fights, and just it means so much. And you guys really do save lives. If you know it or not, you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got a really great program here in the Denver area. So that's all I got for sponsors right now. And then of course, you know, my kids, my family, my boyfriend, my team. I'm in a new team for this camp, and they have just been absolutely incredible and super supportive. Everybody. After I announced this fight, like my phone has just been nonstop for days. Like I have family coming in from out of state just to come watch this fight. Friends that have never or haven't come to a fight in years are coming to this fight, and you know, people bringing all their families. Like I'm really just overwhelmed with gratitude. It's incredible. It is so great.
We're so proud of you over here. We know what you're going through. Obviously, you shared you just lost a very important piece of your life, and I really hope that your children look at you as an inspiration. Like many young women will be tuning in, watching you, and seeing you for the first time and being like, I want to be like that. And I hope you realize the role that you are currently taking on, and it's a lot bigger than you may realize right now. And I thank you for that.
Thank you. I've ran into that a couple times so far, you know, meeting some younger fighters here in the area, like, oh my God, I love watching you fight. Like, you're such an inspiration. You're why I do what I do. And I'm like, holy crap, this is so cool. Like, it's so sweet, you know? Yeah. And I hope my kids do too. Like, I mean, I know it sucks sometimes because I get home late or I'm really crabby when I'm trying to, you know, camp and
going through camp and training and everything like that.
Yeah. But, you know, it'll pay dividends in the long run.
Well, definitely wish you the best of skill, Khortni. You know, hopefully, you get the victory, you get in and out of there without too much damage, so you're gonna able to get back in there as soon as you can.
Yeah.
Definitely hope we can get you back on here again at some point in time in the future. We had a blast. Eddie, anything else you want to add to this before we let it go?
I just want to thank you so much, and keep rocking that backwards hat. And I really hope that if your boyfriend's really talking to you can get them to write a sick walkout song for you, because that would be absolutely insane.
He actually suggested my walkout song, and it's perfect.
Oh yeah,
It's Death March by Motionless in White.
Oh, but you know all these bands, huh? Wow. See,
that was his suggestion. It was great. It's perfect.
Over here, we don't know many people that listen to metal. Like, I feel like such an outsider. It's crazy to hear all of this.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be tuning in, and I really do hope you walk out to that, because that will be so badass.
It's already been submitted. Like,
oh hell yeah! All right. Thank you guys so much.
Appreciate the time, Khortni, for the rest of your evening, night, and have a good one, man.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, and thank your boyfriend for being over there. We'll talk to you soon. Best of skill.
All right,
Steve, that was a lot of fun.
That was Khortni Kamyron. She's going to be making her BKFC debut October 15th at BKFC 30 there in Denver, Colorado. Obviously headlined by Mike Richmond and Doolittle. That should be a fun fight as well. Before we get ready to put a bow on this one, I know we're a little bit over. You know, these interviews were fun tonight. Me and Eddie got to get through tweets of the week. So let's get to it, brother.
All right. I hope you guys are ready for this one. Here we go. This is gonna be crazy, dude. All right. All right, guys, we got everyone's favorite segment here, tweets of the week, which are picked out by you guys. And Steve and I go through all of them and we find the best of the best. Now, Steve, I made some special stuff. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but let's go to the first tweet here. We got a couple. We got Terrence McKinney saying, my tweet to The Rock about his shoes went viral and Sports Illustrated even wrote an article about it, but never replied to me. At least he's able to tweet about penguins and wrestlers from the 80s, though. Steve, what's up with this, man? We're seeing a lot of this lately.
I think T-Rex wanted to at least get some type of response out of it. Wasn't happy with it. Obviously, it's getting at the Sports Illustrated and other things. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Isn't the only one that's being vocal about this and having a problem with it. And people were like, "Oh, you shouldn't do that,"
Why do people not give credit when credit's due, though? Like that's so messed up to me. If I have a big platform, right, and it's not like they're absent-minded about it. They know what they're doing, right? They clearly know what they're doing.
Listen, they do things the way they do it. If
we saw it today, Steve.
People remember correctly. Sports Illustrated did a whole big article on Manny Te'o's dead girlfriend and didn't know a goddamn thing about it.
I forgot about that too.
I mean, come on, man. Of course they didn't go and talk to him or ask him about it. Of course they were just going to do an article because once it's out, your opinion's out on the public platform, they can do whatever they want with it.
Absolutely.
You've already given your thoughts on it. That they don't have to ask you for an interview or another quote on top of it or elaborate on it. No, these people are stupid.
If Steve
lazy journalism, we've already talked about this about Sports Illustrated.
What about what belly up? What about Barstool though? Today was Susan. I mean, our home girls should have got a shout out. Someone has to say this.
Listen, I'm not one to get on the freaking get on the bar stool, so to speak, and sit there and put a rant on. But
they deserve.
Susan Gary, somebody who's been covering combat sports. Not the super big, well-known person like Ariel Helwani or Luke Thomas or anyone in between. You want to sit there and throw at it, but she puts her work in like everyone else. I guess her video of Miss Starling's, the other half of BKFC's title challenge, the last event. They put the video out, and it was basically Susan Singary's like the last. There's a snippet of her interview with Taylor Starling, and it was her sitting there saying she had a blast with the fight. She's sitting there looking like the Elephant Man and whatever. Her face is all bruised up, bloodied up, cracked up, and everything from taking a whooping from Christine. Get it?
But no tag.
Post that on your page without even a bit of. You didn't reshare it from one of her things. You didn't tag her in it, but blowing it off as your own work, man. It's just one of those things that it don't sit right with me. Barstool Sports, you're better than that. Two, you pay people the right money to do the things like that. So when you're called, like the fact that no one still even acknowledged it when you've already had multiple people call it out is beyond me. But whatever. Hey, Barstool Sports, keep doing the way you're doing it. T-Rex, I hope you get your response on Sports Illustrated, The Rock, or whoever else you're referring to at this point in time.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Steve. I actually really appreciate you saying that. And let's get to our next tweet here.
Man, because Joey Body Bags did his thing that last week and starched another dude. I already told you this dude's the truth. I guess one of these matchups fighters that should made a tweet put out said should fight the Action Man next, and he's basically sitting there saying they don't want to do that to that poor boy that he's going to do some damage to this dude. Listen, man, I don't proclaim not to be a homer, especially when it comes to the local MMA fighters, but Joey Pfeiffer's a special dude, and he hits
You
hard.
showed me some
I already
crazy
showed
stuff.
man.
You got to tell our fans.
He's doing legal murder inside of that cage at some point.
When you called me and told me to look that video up, Steve, I was like, all right, what am I in for? And you were not kidding. That was the most brutal knockouts I've ever seen, with the most blood I've seen in a long time inside of the cage. He actually has a documentary as well on YouTube that people should check out. And Steve, you have so much knowledge about these fighters, man.
Well, no, I mean, even like something I didn't even know about, like just seeing come out today, is that Joey's really going through it, trying to make the dream of being a UFC fighter, being a professional MMA fighter. Was basically about to be homeless, and freaking Dana White was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Winds up taking care of the situation, putting, giving Joey what he needs to do what he do, so he can take care of his stuff properly. Like, listen, we all go through struggles. No one ever likes to ask for help. And Dana even says that like for every one of these stories you're hearing, there's like 10, 15 more that you guys don't hear of.
Look at the card last week really quickly. Every fight on there, you had touchy-feely losing his child. Like there were so many stories. I forgot the fighter's name. Lost his brother.
The dude that beat my boy Pat. The hell with him.
but like the whole card was emotional.
Prayers with his family. I know losing a family member so suddenly like that, it's a rough thing. Then still have to sit there, go out there, cut weight, perform, and then you put away an undefeated fighter like Pat Sabatini, man. Like it's a rough one, man. He did his thing. You got to tip your cap off to him, man. That is what it is.
All right, going on to the next one here. This is actually pretty.
So everything's all crazy. We're not allowed to have interfraternization between employees. Well, guess what? The Action Man is letting his attentions be known for one of his fellow employees.
Yeah. All right. So let me read it for the audio listeners, Steve. So for the people listening to the podcast, Chris Curtis says, you never text back. And this is to Diana Bennett. How do you know? Chris Curtis responds, laugh out loud. Don't play with my emotions like that. Diana responds saying, oh, no worries about that. I am not a good player at all. Chris Curtis responds saying, laugh my ass off. That's what they all say. Diana responds, then you should not listen to all of them. And Chris sadly says, LOL, only have eyes and ears for you anyway. What a fool. I've been here before, Steve. I felt foolish like this, bro. And this is sad to see on Twitter of all places, man. Right? You're blushing like me, bro. This is sad.
I'm not, I just think the whole thing's funny, man. Like, listen,
it is funny.
We're in a day and age where we just fired an NBA basketball coach for having consensual relations with somebody. Like I said, I still feel like there's more to it. There's no reason why they outing this dude over some crazy nonsense. But hey, we living in a day and age where everyone's shooting they shot regardless if it's DM or the timeline, and obviously Curtis had no shame in his game, and nor should I blame him for it. So let's see if he doesn't get burnt here.
Yeah, exactly. Let us know what you guys think about this. If you have any tweets of the week that you can think of or see for next week, make sure to tweet us at Combat Deviants. I think we have another one here, Steve, which is really important to discuss. Yeah. If there's any tweet we should discuss, it's definitely this one here. We had rumors per Ariel Helwani. Scott Coker called Anderson Silva's rep a couple months ago and offered him a fight with Fedor Emelianenko. No real
talk. So here's the one thing we have to take this with a grain of salt as well, just because we just know Scott Coker just said that he has already been in talks with Nate Diaz, and as Ariel Helwani absolutely pointed out, there's a 30-day no contact. so the UFC can obviously make a proper offer when that time period ends. That's what happened with Shane Burgos, how he wound up going to PFL. I guess they didn't realize that time period had ended, and he went and did what he did. And now he's in PFL. Obviously, like Dana had said, they dropped the ball. They didn't want to let Shane Burgos go. But that being said, obviously Anderson Silva is fighting October 29th against
a YouTuber.
But apparently, he knows that Anderson wants one more fight. Fedor is looking for a big one to go out on his last hurrah. Why not see the Emperor, Fedor Emelianenko wind up getting in there against Anderson the Spider Silva, Bellator. Regardless if it's one of the cross promotion things that they do with Risen over there in Japan. However, it winds up working out. If it's a cage, if it's a ring, I don't care. I need to see this. It's something we probably should have seen 10 years ago. But at this day and age, we have to take what we have to take. Regardless, both of these guys are obviously, on the back nine past their primes, but they still have a whole lot to kind of give the sport. Obviously, we see Anderson Silva, like you said, you've seen things.
How do you go from Jake Paul to Fedor though? Like that's
what happened.
How do you go to Jake Paul to Fedor? Like that's such a jump, bro. Like that's insane.
Hey, listen, man. He's doing an exhibition. He's already beat up Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and one of the against a boxing world champion. I don't see it there and see why. It's a crazy thing. Yeah, this is what the MMA news cycle is. We have to take kind of these reports with a grain of salt.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for saying that. A lot of people don't, Steve. Yeah.
Well, not like these are just news, rumors, and conversations. Like we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. What is 100% set in stone? This is going to happen, and it's just like things you talk about. Like as we talk about like we were talking about earlier when we're talking to Courtney about other things like in the entertainment business. Yeah, there's a lot of things that kind of go into things to kind of happen, and you have to see how it's going to wind up playing out. You don't know if a rumor fight is going to 100% go into fruition. Nothing's guaranteed in combat sports, in life, in the entertainment business, in the music business. However, whatever you're looking at, like everything that you sit there and says, like, okay, they're saying like he's still going to have another conversation. Well, we don't know if that conversation is going to happen. You don't know what the future holds. We'll see how everything plays out. You don't know, if Anderson kind of loses his luster, if he looks bad in the Paul fight. You never know what could happen. It could wind up getting killed real fast. Like we were trying for the longest time to sit there and watch Anderson Silva fight George St. Pierre, and one bad night ruined the whole thing, and we never got it.
So insane, right, Steve? Hell yeah. Absolutely wild, man. And Scott Coker's picture right there is the only PNG I could find. You like that face?
Yeah, he looked like he, somebody just freaking crop dusted her or something.
Actually, really quick, I met him. Really nice guy. He was having coffee.
Yeah, Scott's awesome.
Very nice guy. Next tweet here we got. I want to roll.
We have to bring this one up. This is like the news of the week, not just once, but now twice. Tom Hardy has secretly entered in the IBBJJF competition and taken home gold. I watched one of the matches I've seen on my Twitter. It looked pretty good. Got a nice little arm bar. But then on top of that, obviously, doing that, Tom's Venom, Tom's Bane. You get T-Rex in there saying he wants to roll with Hardy, see if he can make Bane say uncle. This is what you got to love about combat sports and the entertainment world. Sometimes you get lucky and things cross hairs and things like that. But to actually go and see Tom Hardy, making a consistent effort to go out there and compete and things of that nature, it really shows you how things are. How things play out in the world, and some people go the full mile and do and are really are martial artists. Like a lot of people didn't realize the work that Tom put in to go and be Bane.
some of the martial arts training he did so he could do what he had to do, and he fell in love with it. And jiu-jitsu's been a very big part of his life for some time, and I'm really glad to see him part of the community. And here's something, you're throwing Tom Hardy out there. If you could ever match Tom Hardy up, it doesn't have to be an MMA fight. Obviously he was in Warrior. He's one of the, I think, the more prominent actors when it comes to
Mad Max. He was amazing in Mad Max.
Yeah, man. Like, dude, Tom Hardy's, like I said, he's also Venom at this point in time. So, we're probably gonna see him in the Sony universe, the MC universe.
I didn't know that he was
Spider-Man at some point in time. So, these memes aren't going to end anytime soon. But that being said, if you could put him in either a grappling match or an MMA fight, who would you like to match up Tom Hardy with?
Let us know at Combat Deviants on all social media platforms. I think there's one more here, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Giggles.
Our ultimate baby face comes at it again.
Oh, my God. This is so
Paulo Costa was just bringing out the fact that, us old school MMA fans were much, much better than these new age MMA fans.
See, here's the thing, Steve. As weird as we were with our crazy shirts, our camo hats and camo shorts, and the hardcore thing, these new guys are beta, man.
Forget about our tap out and infliction shirts. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather be wearing that than the guys now. The skinny guys that think they can step in there and, I mean, no disrespect, but like, at least I didn't look like a geek.
Like, I can do that.
Yeah. I just feel like we all look like nerds, actually, but like it was better back then, bro. I mean, I'd rather look like Forrest Griffin than Patty Pimlet. Come on, let's give this that.
Forrest Griffin was a Georgia State trooper before he was on the Ultimate Fighter. People tend to forget that. He wasn't he didn't need the MMA and the UFC. It just wound up happening.
So, Steve, really quick before we end this tweet, are you guilty of this or no? Because I have been. And the weirdest thing I ever seen was a kid riding his bike using the Toys R Us UFC gloves as bike gloves, bro.
I'm guilty of rocking the new gear. No, I haven't gotten any since they started the Reebok deal or anything like that. I haven't gotten any.
No, I haven't won any of the.
I haven't gotten.
I'm talking about
the only reason I would go get one is if I was getting gloves and getting something signed and having.
Bro, the tap out shirts were badass, bro. Come on.
Yeah, well, not just them. Like, there were so many others. Like the t-shirt company that Stephan Bonner started, Punch Buddies. They had some cool designs. They had all kinds of they had like Brock Lesnar and like freaking in the wilderness, freaking like howling at the wind, shooting off guns with a freaking bull behind them and all kinds of they had all kinds of stuff, man.
Oh, by the way, you bring up Stephan Bonner.
There was some uniqueness to it, not just this plain design, and that's what a lot of these fighters are upset about. But at the same time, it goes back to what Anderson's sitting there saying. You're complaining about something, but you guys are signing the contracts.
You bring up Ultimate Fighter, right? I'm maybe having Sam Hoger on in a couple of weeks as well. So if you guys want to see that, hit that like button. And Steve, that wraps it up for tweets of the week here.
Are you gonna make him sing?
Oh yeah, he's got a rap album out.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You're gonna make him sing, yeah.
It's crazy. I call him. I used to call him a lot. I haven't talked to him in a while. But when we talk, bro, he'll sit on the phone with me for an hour and we'll talk. He's good people, bro. His new rap album, though, you would never think it's Sam, though. I love that cocaine. Yeah.
But that being said, man, we're almost
way over
point of this one, man.
Yeah. But honestly, Steve,
next week, man, big one. Don't miss out.
1,000 followers.
Hopefully we'll be able to do it with Vinny on the air, and maybe I'll dig something else out if it happens to be the Vinny Panzienza interview.
All right. With that being said, guys,
I might have something from Vinny lying around for you guys. Oh wait, did I just tell you who we're having on?
Oops. Oh, did that just slip everybody? Oops. It takes me so Steve, you never do that either. So
no, I do. Sometimes I do.
Guys, thank you so much.
Give them a little preview, especially to our loyal ones that actually listen in and tune into our stuff. We'll see what happens.
I do have someone in mind for the giveaway because it's the one person who's actually followed through on all the directions. Follow, subscribe, shoot us the screenshot. Simple things.
Exactly. Guys,
but really appreciate everyone's support. Another awesome episode of appreciate Vince Anderson, and thoughts and prayers out to his family, because he just experienced loss in his family. Appreciate Zack for hopping on. Appreciate Khortni. Wish Zack and Khortni best of skill for their fight. Appreciate the all the fam for always supporting us. Make sure you guys are showing us some love. Like, subscribe, share, follow, do all that fun stuff on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff. We're real easy to find. Combat Deviants, and the same thing with our brother station over here in Belly Up Sports is just real easy to find.
And we got some upcoming fights we'll be covering as well.
Belly Up Fantasy. If fantasy football is your thing, make sure you're getting lined up with these guys and getting everything lined up. Obviously, we got some stuff coming up in the few weeks. Who are you looking forward to? Are you looking forward to TJ getting in there with Sterling? You want to see Yan and O'Malley? What is your favorite one of the upcoming pay-per-view?
Let us know at Combat Deviants, guys. Make sure to subscribe down below. That does it for episode 4. Me and Steve are out.